Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. That's 5:02. I'm Manda Factor, and here's what's happening. Seattle police are investigating a deadly shooting on First Hill. A man was found shot at an apartment on 8th Avenue about 8 o'clock last night, pronounced dead at the scene. A teenager accused of being the getaway driver in last week's shooting of undercover Seattle police officers went before a judge yesterday. The 17-year-old was already wanted for a string of armed robberies, due back in court on Friday. The recall effort against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson has a court date, hearing set for August 31st now. And the worst loss in franchise history. Mariners lost to the Brewers 22-0 last night. And a group of 12-year-olds from Tacoma take the field at the Little League World Series today. First pitch is at noon on ESPN. It's 5:03, and that's time for a check on your early Wednesday drive. Chris Sullivan is in. Good morning.
Good morning. The Brewers just scored again. Looking at
22-0.
I was almost asleep, and I get a text from our good friend Aaron Granillo.
Yeah.
He's like,
huge Mariners fan.
I'm like, what? I don't pay attention. I stopped paying attention in May when it was clear this team was not good.
Ouch.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Brutal.
How's the traffic?
Fortunately, the roads are much nicer.
Good.
You'll have plenty of time to be with your thoughts about the Mariners because you're pretty good. Only 30 minutes to get you to Tacoma, then Federal Way to Seattle about 35. Valley Freeway 35 from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is only 15. Coming down from the north end, nice and easy drive so far. 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Lake bridges are quiet. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
It's now 5:04 on your Wednesday morning. Shipping traffic through some of the world's busiest trade routes in the Middle East is slowing dramatically. Economists are worried the impact could be felt far beyond the region. ABC's Brad Milkey on why this matters and what it could mean for prices here at home.
When you really want to get a sense of how the U.S. economy is doing, looking at the stock market is not the best indicator. Perhaps a better one is the bond market.
Labor market's solid, steady. The bond market, the treasury market, it seems to be saying that as well.
Remember, bonds, those are little loans for the government. Not loans you're getting from the government, mind you. No, when you buy a bond, you're giving a loan to the government. And in return, you get back a predetermined profit. It's generally a safe investment. That's why grandparents give it to their grandkids on graduation day. But that rate of return tells you a lot about the economic leverage of the government issuing it. Like, if the government is issuing bonds with higher rates of return, it's because they need the cash more. They want those loans. Well, as inflation started subsiding from the pandemic, you could trace these rates of return going a bit lower. The government was on stronger economic footing. Then on February 28th, bing, you can see them start to head upward again. That was the day the U.S. started bombing Iran.
They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore.
This was not emergency territory or anything. It just seemed to echo uncertainty. President Trump assured people around the world that this would be over in a matter of weeks.
We took a little excursion because we felt we had to do that to get rid of some evil. And I think you'll see it's going to be a short-term excursion.
Well, this week, whatever was left of our ceasefire with Iran officially ended. There is currently no replacement deal in sight. And while Trump has insisted that the U.S. controls the Strait of Hormuz, ships continue to be bombed as they try to pass through, clogging worldwide shipping. Oil prices have risen. Heck, prices on almost everything have risen. Well, yesterday, more investors around the world started dumping their bonds. This often happens when people can smell inflation rising and when governments are sinking further into debt. It also means for the rest of us that mortgage rates and credit card debt are heading back up.
The committee remains resolute. You've heard this before, but we will deliver price stability.
Looking at these numbers, it was almost like you could see investors reckoning with the prospect that this Iran conflict is not a blip, that it's not going anywhere. That is exactly the opposite of the message that President Trump wants to be sending right now. Let's go to ABC's chief Washington correspondent, Jonathan Karl. John, first off, can you just walk us through how the Trump administration is portraying the situation in the Strait of Hormuz right now?
Well, there's contradictory messages. You heard from Energy Secretary Chris Wright saying that it's essentially a conflict zone, but the president has been suggesting that everything is fine, that the U.S. is in total control of the strait. In fact, he floated the idea that he could declare it a U.S. territory.
Last week you said that you would soon declare the Strait of Hormuz to be a territory of the United States. Could you elaborate?
Well, I just think it's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, we control it. We control it with the blockade.
That is not in any way reflecting the reality on the ground. As you know, Brad, shipping through the Strait of Hormuz has basically been at a standstill. Very few ships going through the strait, and the Iranians are absolutely insistent that they are not going to allow the strait to be cleared until the United States meets not just some of the demands that they have, but all of them. And let me tell you, it's a long list of demands.
Yeah, I was going to say about Iran. I mean, we're seeing more ships struck just this week. And by the way, not all of them in the Strait of Hormuz. We also saw ships struck right off of Yemen. That's by the Red Sea, which was supposed to be the alternate shipping route. So all this traffic, you'd think, just continues to grind to a halt. And Iran doesn't sound like they're going anywhere, John.
Yeah, I mean, Iran's defiance has only increased. They seem to sense weakness on the part of the United States, a desire that's pretty obvious to anybody that reads his social feed, a desire on the part of the president to end the conflict, and the Iranians are saying, no, we want a lot of things.
Well, they want to make a deal, but they're not going to make the kind of a deal that I feel is necessary.
We want a total end to any U.S. aggression or threats of aggression in the region. They want reparations for damage done to Iran. They want lifting of sanctions, lifting of oil sanctions. They want unfrozen assets. They want the whole long laundry list of demands that Iran has had for a long, long time to be given to them before they will consent to allowing free traffic through the strait.
The strait is open, and the oil prices are coming down, and they will continue to come down unless we decide to do something far more drastic than we're doing.
And then they've been having these negotiations, bilateral negotiations with Oman about setting up a system for commercial traffic through the strait that is basically setting up a huge toll, a toll for ships coming in and going out. In other words, not free traffic through the strait. That is no longer on the table as far as the Iranians are concerned.
And this is why Trump was threatening Oman then to be like, no, that can't happen.
Yeah, exactly why Trump threatened to expand a war that he's been trying to end for several months, saying that he would go after Oman if they got in the way of the president's plans. But look, the president has said many times that the United States has control over the strait. I mean, that is just, I'm sorry, it's just not true.
Hey, and by the way, John, with all of that, when we think about shipping, when we think about inflation going up, when we think about American debt, we're in the middle of midterm season. So I got to imagine the White House is hoping Americans can just keep the faith that this will somehow be worked out. Where do negotiations stand with Iran? Because I know Trump's own family members were meeting with Middle Eastern leaders in recent days.
Yeah, I mean, you had Jared Kushner in the region, but he wasn't meeting with the Iranians. He was meeting with Hamas, not with the Iranians.
Right.
Negotiations, that there are no signs of any significant negotiations underway with Iran. In fact, it seems like the administration, that the president's been convinced this is the way to do this, has settled on a strategy of economic pressure on Iran and waiting them out until they just can't handle it anymore. So this means leaving the blockade in place, ramping up sanctions, and hoping that the pressure will build so eventually the Iranians have to relent. But that is a very long prospect, Brad. That is not something that happens overnight. It's not like the Iranians are facing, the regime is facing midterm elections. They know that Trump is, and they know what kind of pressure the Americans will feel. So it's kind of the two sides trying to enforce economic pain on the other.
Iran is in big trouble. They have 300% inflation. The country's a mess, and the military is totally defeated.
The Iranians seem to have, at least for now, the upper hand there because they clearly understand that there is a political dynamic back in the United States. And by the way, they do have a little bit of a memory about what happened back during the 1980 election with Jimmy Carter and how a very young Iranian revolutionary regime put pressure on an American president, economic pressure especially, as well as political pressure going into a key election. And here we have, history in a way repeating itself.
Right, the young regime very much established now. And by the way, it's not just the U.S. either. Like, investors around the world are selling bonds with all these different governments. You can tell all these governments have something to lose if this war continues the way it is right now. Jonathan Karl at the White House, thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Climate change has the potential to do lots of things. It can dry out riverbeds. It can warm the oceans, which can lead to even stronger storms and hurricanes. But can it also smash your town with rocks? Meet the very worried residents of Kandersteg, Switzerland. Kandersteg is one of the most beautiful villages you will ever come across. It's in the Swiss Alps, right near a blue lake, nestled at the foot of dramatic mountain peaks. Up above the 1,300 residents are cows casually patrolling the hillsides. And yet, even further up lurks something far more ominous. A mountain rock formation that is held together entirely by permafrost. That's soil and sediment that has remained frozen for centuries. You probably wouldn't know it was permafrost if you looked at it. Trees can grow out of it. Stones are wedged into it. It's like concrete if concrete could melt back into liquid.
The warm temperatures, they do not only melt glaciers, they also help to thaw permafrost.
That's Marcus Stoffel, professor for climate change and natural risks at the University of Geneva. He told the Associated Press that if the permafrost melts, catastrophe follows.
In the mountains and in the unconsolidated debris, there is lots of ice, and once that this ice is melting, it acts like a cement. These mountain slopes will become increasingly unstable.
This entire slope, called the Spitze Steig, could break off and would likely end up blanketing the town. This is not the first time a landslide could wipe out an entire city. In fact, just last year, the Swiss town of Blatten was almost entirely demolished when a glacier collapsed. Nathan Solothurnman, a climate and energy expert for Greenpeace Switzerland, says it might not be the last either.
Maybe one day we even have to abandon certain valleys, certain villages, because it's becoming impossible to live there.
Residents of Kandersteg say they're nervous but confident in the plans laid out by town authorities. That rock is under constant surveillance. Evacuation routes have been established.
You are aware it's happening, but not afraid. And they try to do all the precautions what they could do. But still then, it's nature.
But all of this adds up to a much bigger modern conundrum. Entire towns, entire cities have been built on and under what looked like solid ground. But those assumptions, much like the mountains themselves, might not be as solid as you'd expect.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey. It's 5:14, our forecast. Ho-hum, same thing. Clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon, a high around 80. Same thing for tomorrow. Looks like the same thing on Friday. Maybe a few more clouds rolling in Friday. Then Saturday and Sunday, look for scattered showers and highs in the low 70s. Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy, 58 degrees. Coming up, authorities say a cocaine trafficking operation involving Penn State students and fraternity houses went far beyond typical college misconduct. We'll get more coming up on part 2 of Start Here. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Summer is for going big.
Julio! Dead center field, solo home run, 4-0 Mariners.
Summer is for showing out.
Crawford, out of the glove, Emerson to first. What a play!
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Cal Raleigh with an RBI double. The big thumper comes through in the clutch.
Where else do you get 9 innings of eye-popping swings and snags? Plus fireworks that make your feet dance and your jaw drop. Oh yeah, and the guys have a dance of their own. A wind dance.
Party time at T-Mobile Park in the sunshine.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The action continues at T-Mobile Park all summer long. Don't miss out on two great matchups later this month. Julio and the Mariners are squaring off in back-to-back interleague series against the Chicago Cubs, August 21st to 23rd, and the Philadelphia Phillies, August 24th to 26th. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
For nearly 20 years, I've talked with local homeowners on the radio about mortgages and making smart financial decisions. Hi, I'm Steve Tytler, owner of Best Mortgage, and after September, I'm retiring from radio advertising. So if you're over 62 and you've been thinking about a reverse mortgage, now's a good time to call to work directly with me. 425-649-6000. A reverse mortgage may help eliminate your mortgage payment, pay off debts, and create more room in your monthly budget. It's not right for everyone, and that's why honest advice really matters. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, I will personally explain how it works, review your options, and tell you plainly whether it makes sense for you. No pressure, just straight answers from someone who's been helping Northwest families for decades. Fall is coming, and if a reverse mortgage has been on your mind, let's talk soon. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
Hello, sweltering Seattle. John Curley here. Is your home staying cool? Are you losing sleep because it's just too hot? At Home Comfort Alliance, the goal is not to sell you a new system. It's to fix the one that you have. Repair first, replace only if it truly makes sense, saving you time and money. If your system's done, a heat pump gives you both cooling and heating for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
It's now 5:19. 14 people have been charged in what authorities describe as a cocaine trafficking ring tied to Penn State fraternities. ABC's Brett Milkey, more on the investigation, the allegations against current and former students, and the fallout for the university. It's part 2 of Start Here.
Drugs on college campuses are nothing new. The nonprofit American Addiction Centers say the most abused drugs are alcohol and marijuana, followed by prescription pills and party drugs. But when you think about how recreational drugs get on campus, it's not just kids pilfering from their parents or buying from a guy in the parking lot. It can be a large-scale operation. Well, this week, authorities in Pennsylvania have charged more than a dozen people in what they say is a drug ring dedicated to trafficking cocaine on the campus of Penn State. And to hear prosecutors describe it, participating in this operation had really become part of Greek life at some fraternities. ABC's Matt Rivers has been following this. Matt, what did authorities find here?
Well, so according to the Attorney General of the state of Pennsylvania, he calls this a major cocaine operation that kind of went between Philadelphia, New York City, and the Penn State campus.
There was nothing junior or childlike about this type of conduct. This was an upper-level trafficking organization for this region in Pennsylvania.
Led primarily by two individuals who are now both former Penn State students. One at the top of the food chain, again, according to officials, a gentleman named Agostino Abatiello.
Multiple witnesses who testified in front of the grand jury referred to Abatiello as the largest dealer of cocaine for Penn State University students.
And underneath him, a guy named Thomas Robinson. What authorities said is that they were bringing kilos of cocaine at a time, principally from suppliers in New York City and Philadelphia, and then selling it there on campus. They ended up charging 13 former and current students. There were some current students involved in the overall 13. And I should add, Brad, there was a 14th person also charged, a Pittsburgh-based attorney who is the father of Thomas Robinson. Authorities are saying he allegedly interfered in this investigation. So of all the people that were charged, the top people, 5 of them received felony charges, others receiving misdemeanors. But clearly this is a big enough case, a big enough operation that the Attorney General wanted to make this a big deal and make it very public in the way he has.
How did it allegedly work on campus? So, like, these guys according to authorities, these guys would get keys of cocaine from New York and bring it in. But once it hits campus, what happens after that? Because, again, there's lots more people allegedly involved.
Yeah, so to hear authorities describe it, Abatiello was the main hookup in between New York and Philadelphia. Robinson helped distribute things on campus. But what was really interesting and what stood out to me was the way it was then packaged on campus. What authorities allege here is that at both the Delta Upsilon and Sigma Chi houses, which are both fraternities that are off campus at Penn State, only one of them, Delta Upsilon, is actually officially within the university's Greek system there. But apparently they were packaging and cutting these drugs inside those two fraternity houses, even at times allegedly as part of a hazing ritual.
We found a pattern of events that showed cutting and bagging cocaine was, for some pledges, an indoctrination into the Delta Upsilon and Sigma Chi fraternities.
Authorities say they were prepping these drugs for sale inside of fraternity houses there off campus.
Unbelievable. How does the university respond, both about this and perhaps the fraternities themselves?
So the university comes out and says Sigma Chi was not a part of the official Greek system there. It operated independently. Delta Upsilon, though, was. It said it immediately suspended pending a review. Both of the national organizations that are behind Sigma Chi and Delta Upsilon have also denounced those allegedly involved. So uniformly, any oversight body of these organizations has denounced what's happened here. But this is just the latest in a string of notorious cases within Penn State fraternity life. Cases in the past couple of years as well where female students were being sexually exploited allegedly inside of some of these fraternity houses. So this is just yet another black mark on the fraternity system at Penn State, and something that the university can and should be reckoning with.
Yeah, and that's what Penn State says they're doing, is continuing to investigate all this from an organizational standpoint as well. All right, Matt Rivers covering it all. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey. It's 5:23. We are going to see clouds again this morning, but sunshine for the afternoon, 79 the high. Pretty much the same tomorrow. Friday, we might see a few more clouds roll in, but still a really nice day. Mix of clouds and sun and 79. Change for the weekend. There is a chance of some thunderstorms on Saturday. Otherwise, a few showers and 72. The showers continue on Sunday, but we'll see some sunshine as well. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy. It's 58 degrees. Coming up, a chance encounter with a woman from South Bend's class of 1956. Got Charlie Harger thinking about everything that's changed in a single lifetime and why a little perspective might do us all some good. That's coming up in Charlie's commentary next. This is Seattle's Morning News.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half-heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repairs, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
I'm driving a new Subaru Forester Touring Hybrid from Carter Subaru. It is so comfy, loaded with family-friendly safety features, and with high gas prices right now, I am loving my first hybrid. Right now, you can get a 2026 Subaru Crosstrek starting at 1.9% financing for 36 months on approved credit. Visit Carter Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 8/31/26.
Hey, it's Jason Rance here again with Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Greg, there are some folks getting CP 504 notices. This is not something that should be ignored. You need a professional.
When you receive a CP 504 notice, alarm bells need to go off. And as much as you just want to push that envelope aside, because they know it's not going to be good. And it's not a very good notice to get because it means the IRS is really coming down on you hard. Get help right away. Call somebody that knows what they're doing and get some assistance.
How have you helped?
We help them by understanding exactly where they're at. We interview them, we talk with them, find out. We'd like to know, how did you get here? And then we make a plan whereby we do our level best to help people with this struggle they are having now with their taxes.
Judgment-free.
Judgment-free.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn with None Better Tax Resolution. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185. AdvancedHair.com.
The new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power exclusively. Available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:30. The recall effort against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is moving to court. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas with the update.
We learned 2 KIRO 7 viewers filed the recall petition.
I saw on KIRO 7, as a matter of fact, I was going to watch a program, but it kept breaking news, and finally at 10:45 there was a news conference. Now you can't tell me that she didn't know what was going on, and to blame it on the police department, I'm sorry. Her communication skills are deplorable.
Now, the case has been assigned to a Superior Court judge. He'll hear that case Monday, August 31st. If the judge decides it goes forward, then signatures would have to be gathered to have the recall put on the ballot in November.
Seattle police investigating a deadly shooting on First Hill. Officers responded to an apartment in the 900 block of 8th Avenue about 8 o'clock last night. They found a man with suspected gunshot wounds and attempted life-saving measures. Seattle fire medics later pronounced him dead. Homicide detectives are investigating. The Seattle Center shooting is prompting a new push to crack down on juvenile gun possession. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
South King County State Representative David Hackney wants juvenile gun offenders pushed into the criminal justice system after just 2 gun cases instead of waiting for violence to erupt. Hackney says the Seattle Center suspect that died in the shooting had a prior gun arrest as a juvenile but faced no real consequences.
Nothing happened. He went back home, picked up another gun, and now we got 3 people dead.
Hackney says getting young gun offenders into the system sooner means they get more of the help they need. Right now, Washington juveniles can be diverted 4 times for gun possession before facing criminal charges on the 5th. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A Thurston County man who declared himself the most well-known drug dealer in the county is headed back to prison. 40-year-old David Hoffman was sentenced yesterday to 11 years in federal prison for dealing meth and illegally possessing a firearm. Prosecutors say Hoffman went right back to selling drugs after finishing a prior federal sentence, even while under court supervision. When arrested last August, prosecutors say he had cocaine and a gun with its serial number removed. Well, another high honor for Mariners legendary broadcaster Rick Riz.
This is going, and it is gone. Goodbye, baseball.
The team announced it will honor Riz with a farewell weekend during the final home series of the regular season. 3-day celebration includes a fireworks night, ceremonial first pitch from Riz, and fan tribute. Riz is wrapping up his 41st and final season with the Mariners. He'll be inducted into Mariners Hall of Fame next season. Perhaps the Mariners could win a few more games for him. Mariners lost to the Brewers, in case you hadn't heard, 22-0 yesterday, the worst loss in franchise history. It's 5:33. That's time for a check on traffic now. And for that, here's Chris Sullivan.
And according to some stats, the worst loss in baseball since 1888, tying a shutout.
Yeah, 22-0.
Man. Okay. If only anyone could have foreseen this coming all summer long. Looking at the drive now, we are looking at very heavy braking on northbound 167 right around Highway 18. Appears to just be weaving and merging. I haven't found anything there yet, but we're running over 40 minutes already from Puyallup to Renton, so add about 5 to what you might expect. Renton to Bellevue, though, you'll pick up the pace, 15 minutes there. Olympia to Tacoma is only 35 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle is at 35 as well. A little westbound slowing across the trestle. We see that from time to time at this hour, trying to get over to I-5 and then down to wherever you need to be by 6. Looking at Everett to Seattle, Everett to Bellevue of about 35 minutes as well. Lake bridges are quiet. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, once again, clouds for the morning hours, sunshine for the afternoon, up around 84 today. Same tomorrow. Friday, we'll see a few more clouds roll in, just high clouds. Mix that and sunshine and 79. Showers both days on the weekend. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 58.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News. Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
It's 5:35. When was the last time you stopped to appreciate how good we actually have it? Charlie Harger says we're living in somebody else's unimaginable future, and we barely notice it.
There's a seafood shop in South Bend where I went Sunday afternoon to buy some crab. The woman ahead of me in line was in town for a reunion. She was telling the guy at the counter. The South Bend High School class of 1956. It got my attention. First, because she looked fantastic. She was walking with a cane, but she was doing it in wedges. Sharp, funny, completely engaged with everyone around here. So there I was standing in line, and I started wondering what she has seen. Because the timing of that question wasn't an accident. I'd spent the whole morning driving through my own past. On Saturday, my wife and I had taken advantage of one of the great benefits of having an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old. You can leave them home for a night and go be grown up somewhere else. Well, we mounted a TV on the wall at my mom's in Aberdeen. Nothing says a romantic getaway like arriving with a toolkit at your mom's place and looking for studs. Later, we walked the beach at the ocean and then spent the night in Astoria, where 2 adult beverages, by the way, cost $10.50 total. A remarkable price if you're used to Seattle. Then Sunday, we drove north on Highway 101 past Nacelle, where I went to elementary school for 4 years, through Nema on Old Highway 101, past the farm where we lived. House is gone now, place where my childhood happened, basically a tree farm now. Life on that farm was a lot different from the life my kids live now. For a couple of years, we didn't have television. Radio mattered. I treasured that AM connection to KIRO, and every once in a while, if the atmospheric god smiled, my big brother could pull a skip of the KISW signal onto his boombox. Seattle FM rock station reaching Nema, well, it felt like a little miracle. You adjusted the antenna, you tried not to breathe too hard in its direction, and whatever song was playing right then was the song you got. A website called Ordinary Abundance blew up in my feeds over the weekend to put a name on all of this. It walks you through an ordinary modern apartment, and every ordinary object opens a quote from someone in history for whom that object was unimaginable. In 1888, a writer said music on demand at home would have been considered the limit of human felicity. The limit of human felicity. It's in your pocket right now. I can think of a song I haven't heard in 30 years, type a few words, and hear it before I finish explaining to my kids why I wanted to. The kid on that farm, holding his breath next to a boombox, would not have believed it. When we moved away from the farm, I remember the feeling that I might simply never talk to some of my friends again. That was when moving back then meant you never did speak to somebody, especially if you're a kid. People disappeared from your life. My son, he had a friend move away 5 years ago. They still talk online. Technology changed what it means to say goodbye. Then there's medicine. Over just the past few months, few weeks really, I've watched treatments save the lives of friends and people they love. Procedures we now discuss as options would have sounded like science fiction to the class of 1956. People I care about are still here because somebody figured out how to do something that, within a single lifetime, medicine simply could not do. Now, I know the obvious response. Housing costs are crushing people. Loneliness is real. Politics is ugly. Nobody should wave an iPhone at somebody who's struggling and say, see, everything is great. The point is perspective. We've developed a habit of noticing every way life has gotten worse while barely registering the ways it's gotten better. Noticing what we have and demanding better aren't opposites, which brings me back to the woman in the seafood shop. She stepped out of South Bend High into a world of leaded gasoline and rabbit ears. Music was whatever the radio decided. Moving away meant goodbye. Half the medicine cabinet hadn't been invented yet. And she has watched the entire transformation, all of it, inside one lifetime that isn't finished yet. She was there before any of it, and she was there on a Sunday afternoon buying fish and cracking jokes and wearing wedges. We're living in somebody else's unimaginable future. She got to watch it arrive. The least the rest of us could do is notice it.
You can find all of Charlie's commentaries at mynorthwest.com. Coming up, your political insights from ABC's Dave Pecker. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio is honored to bring home one of the nation's top awards in our industry, the prestigious National Edward R. Murrow Award for breaking news coverage. One award is the result of our team's hard work every single day, and none of it would be possible without you. You trust us with important information every time you choose us. Whether you listen over the air, on the KIRO Newsradio app, or you watch us on YouTube, thank you.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
There are 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Tune in to elevate your wealth. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, you do not have the time to deal with a market downturn.
With Mark Stimson and Casey Elkins.
It's important that you know what the rules are, because if you don't, you can make some tremendous decisions that could adversely affect you, and you may not be able to go back and fix them.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder. Jazz Alley invites you to experience the legendary Take 6, the most awarded a cappella group in history with 10 Grammys. Shows run August 20th through the 23rd. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
These are your political insights from ABC News. A handful of primaries across America Tuesday. In Florida, Governor Byron Donalds won the Republican nomination for governor.
Because of your sweat, because of your hard work, we have won a massive victory.
Donalds, who would be the first black governor of Florida, projected to face former Congressman David Jolly, who picked up the Democratic nod. Another gain for Democratic Socialists. Angie Dixon is the winner of the Democratic nomination to run for Florida's U.S. Senate seat, once held by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Tuesday night.
What is going on right now is not normal in Washington, D.C., nor is it acceptable.
She'll face Republican Ashley Moody, who was appointed to the seat when Rubio joined the cabinet. In Wyoming, the AP projects Eric Barlow wins the Republican nomination for governor. He'll face uncontested Democrat Kenneth Sassany. Alaska also holding primaries Tuesday. Dave Packer, ABC News.
It's 5:44, another beautiful summer day on the way. Clouds this morning, sunshine for the afternoon, 79 the high. A little bit warmer tomorrow, 81. Friday, a few more high clouds roll in, 79. And the weekend, looks like we'll see a few showers both Saturday and Sunday. It's 58 in Seattle right now. Coming up, wire thieves aren't just stealing copper. They're knocking out ramp meters, street lights, and costing taxpayers nearly $1 million. Sully has a choke point coming up next on Seattle's Morning News.
Pet Decorator wood flooring is the last floor you will ever need to buy. Gorgeous, hand-selected wide plank wood flooring made only from American hardwoods. The most durable patented finish on the market. Protected from pets with scratch, scuff, and dent-resistant performance. Waterproof with a lifetime warranty, attractively priced. You will love your new forever floor. Call today, petdecorator.com.
Summer's a busy time for most businesses, and WaFd Bank is here to help you keep up. WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, business credit cards, credit lines, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd also offers payment processing, so customers can pay through a kiosk, a mobile app, or online for seamless transactions. And with so many options, WaFd Bank is quickly becoming an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you'll find the perfect fit to meet your goals. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com, member FDIC, loan subject to credit approval.
Number. Sleep Number's new collections are designed to adapt to the changing nature of your life and your sleep needs. Whether it's the personalized comfort of the Comfort Mode mattress, the targeted pressure relief of the Comfort Next mattress, or the Climate Collection that actively cools or warms to help you fall asleep and stay asleep.
And now, all beds are on sale during our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on the new Comfort Next Luxe, plus free delivery on any mattress. Ends Monday, only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal, book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Get more baseball for your buck with Mariners Value Options. Tickets for less than $12 to select games all season and the biggest ever value menu and beer lineup, featuring 36 items and available every game. Check it out at mariners.com/value.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Solomon.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
I might have to walk away now because it's going to make me angry.
I know. Sully has that effect on people.
Not
Wire
Sully.
theft.
Yes, his information.
Yes, it's causing the Department of Transportation and taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, but the crime is also impacting safety and traffic management.
All right, take it away, Sully.
And I'll give you the dollar figures here in a moment just to set the stage. But I want to tell you why we're bringing this up now, because it's not like this is a new thing. People have been ripping wire ever since it became really easy to do it, and you get paid by unscrupulous scrappers. But someone asked me, was like, hey, have you noticed that the ramp meters from 320th to I-5 and Federal Way have been dark for a couple of weeks? And I hadn't noticed. Sometimes my cameras don't get in that close to see the ramp meters. So my initial thought was like, oh, man, that's got to be wire theft. And I was right. And then WashDOT confirmed it. Someone did cut through the fence, got down to the junction box, and ripped the wire. So we have no more ramp meters at 320th. The thieves also stole the wire for the new overhead lights in the area. These lights were installed for safety. Well, too bad. It's going to cost $5,000 to get those ramp meters back online. It's going to cost more than $70,000 to fix the lights. And that's money WashDOT does not have.
It's challenging to keep up. It's costing a lot of money, and we've reached a point such as the high tower lights there at 320th where it's not within our budget to replace them. And that makes it challenging because that's less lighting on the road. This is a safety concern.
WashDOT's James Poling says the junction box the thieves hit had even been hardened recently. WashDOT is now having to weld these boxes shut to try to protect the wiring, but the thieves have the tools to get in lickety-split without a problem. It appears there is a well-organized theft ring working the I-5 corridor between 509 and Federal Way at the moment, and they're just running up and down the freeway, ripping the wire where they can.
Wire theft is such a system that is like well-oiled machine to this point where like that even our welding is not preventing the theft of copper wiring.
You might remember that wire thieves hit Montlake earlier this year. They knocked out the lights and other infrastructure there through that construction project and through that neighborhood. Every agency is now dealing with this. Earlier this year, a person was stopped on the West Seattle Bridge with hundreds of feet of wire in his hands. More than $100,000 of damage just in that case alone on the West Seattle Bridge. Here are the dollars and cents for WashDOT, though. It reports that it spent $952 million on repairs related to wire theft between 2023 and 2025. Almost $1 million. But that doesn't actually reflect the total damages. That's only the money that WashDOT had that they could use to make repairs. A lot of things they're just not repairing because it's not in their budget. And to make things worse, thieves are now dressing like legitimate workers as they commit their crimes, many wearing reflective vests and hard hats to blend in. Okay, so what can we do about this? This is a tough nut to crack, but it shouldn't be. It's not like this is something new because Washington first passed a law in 2007 to combat wire theft and other crimes like stealing raw materials at job sites. WashDOT has been hardening its junction boxes and trying to stay ahead of thieves. I asked WashDOT's polling why the agency just doesn't bury the boxes or seal them.
We're doing what we can, but at the same access points that the thieves are using are in some ways the same access points we have to have as our crews to perform regular maintenance and keep these operating.
So you weld them shut. That means WashDOT's got to spend more money and time to go through that welding just to get there to maintain these things. WashDOT also started using aluminum wire instead of copper. It's not worth as much to the thieves. The problem is the thieves don't know it till they already rip the box and pull the wire. WashDOT's polling says State Patrol is always looking for these thieves in real time. So are workers at the traffic management centers watching the cameras, but it's really hard to catch them in the act.
We have hundreds of thousands of miles of right-of-way in our agency. Like, we can't have an officer stationed around the clock at every intersection in our right-of-way. I mean, it's feasibly impossible, and that's just monitoring boxes. I'm not even doing the other jobs that like enforcement's required. So it's very challenging.
Now, you, as a member of the public, you can do what you can to combat wire theft. You can call 911 if you see someone out of place near a junction box, even if they're wearing a vest. WashDOT workers have very distinctive lettering on their vests. It says Washington Department of Transportation on the back in big neon letters. There will likely be a couple of them working in a work zone at the same time. They will likely have a marked work truck, maybe with orange flashing lights. So it's okay if you see something out of pocket, call 911. Of course, the only real way to tackle this issue would be to lock up the thieves and then find the unscrupulous scrap buyers who actually take this stolen stuff. That's where this is going to end, is if you start fining and jailing the people who take this stuff, even though state law requires them to check IDs, make sure these people are proper handlers. There are plenty of people out there skirting the law who don't do that, and that's why this is still a problem.
I'm back now. I had to leave, so I didn't hear you say $952 million.
Yeah, and that was just in 2 years. The 2 years previous, it was about $900 million. So the problem's getting worse. And again, the issue is on the buyer side. Yeah. If those folks wouldn't break the law, this problem would disappear. But there's too much money in looking the other way, and we don't have the resources to go after these unscrupulous scrap buyers. It's a safety issue. We're losing lighting on the freeways.
How deep in the hole are we on maintenance? You talk about this all the time. We're talking $952 million in a 2-year period. That has to come out of somewhere.
That comes out of basically the maintenance budget. And again, our maintenance and preservation budget routinely runs $1 billion underfunded every year. $1 billion.
So this is half of it.
And again, no, that's $1 billion. That's just a tenth. Because this is just 1 million out of.
I'm seeing the 952 million.
No, it's 952,000. That's it's 1 million over 2 years. Yeah, no, it's not 952 million. Yeah, yeah.
I was okay.
It's still outrageous.
I was angry, but I didn't need to be quite that angry.
Okay. No. And again, maddening issue. Help out where you can. I know calling 911 on someone who's doing their job is probably something you don't want to do, but if they're doing it in the middle of the night, chances are, and you don't see a work truck there, chances are they might be up to something illegal.
Yep. You can always find Sully's choke points at mynorthwest.com. It's 5:54. Check on the forecast. Much like yesterday, we're going to see clouds this morning. Sunshine for the afternoon, up around 80 again today. For tomorrow, again, some clouds in the morning, giving way to mainly sunny skies and 81 tomorrow. Friday, a few more high clouds roll in. That'll keep us just a tad cooler. But for the weekend, here come the showers. It looks like we'll stay really cloudy in the morning hours. Maybe some sun breaks, but also a few showers on Saturday. Low 70s. Sunday looks pretty much the same, with maybe a little bit more in the way of sunshine. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy skies. It's 58 degrees. Glad to have you with us on this Wednesday morning. It's the 19th of August, and coming up, more of the day's top local headlines. Also, could Seattle's new mayor be facing a recall already? The judge has been assigned to hearing dates on the calendar, and KIRO Newsradio's Tim Hull will break that down for us coming up. Also at 6:15, back to the weather. Could Seattle really be headed for a historic super El Nino? Meteorologist Scott Sistek will join us to separate the hype from reality and explain what it could mean for the winter. Our inbox is always open for your news, tips, and story ideas at mynorthwest.com. And boy, we really love to hear from you on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, too. That is 888-973-5476, 888-973-5476. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News here on KIRO News Radio. It's 5:55.
KIRO News Radio is honored to bring home one of the nation's top awards in our industry, the prestigious National Edward R. Murrow Award for breaking news coverage. One award is the result of our team's hard work every single day, and none of it would be possible without you. You trust us with important information every time you choose us. Whether you listen over the air, on the KIRO News Radio app, or you watch us on YouTube, thank you.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Summer's here, and it's the perfect time to tell you that Integrity Roofing and Construction has been serving and supporting our Puget Sound communities for 10 years. If your roof is aging, storm damaged, or just ready for an upgrade, now's the perfect time to schedule your free consultation. With products that last longer and perform better, Integrity's team brings full transparency so you know exactly what your home needs before you spend a dime. And Integrity has locations from Issaquah to Sequim to Everett and Gig Harbor. Visit IntegrityRC.com. That's IntegrityRC.com right now. Integrity Roofing and Construction, where doing the right thing matters.
Jane is a small business owner. Tell them what that's like, Jane.
Yeah, well, it's like a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs, and some days things can feel like they're flying off the rails.
Yep, it's a lot. But the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business can help you manage it all. With the largest, fastest fiber-powered network designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect.
Nice. So everything stays on track.
The Total Solutions Advantage. No one does business like Comcast Business.
The more solutions you add, the more you save. Get started today with a qualifying internet package for as low as $60 a month when you add an advanced solution. Plus, new customers, ask how to get up to $1,500 in prepaid cards when you add 2 lines of mobile to a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and automatic payments with bank account required. $60 offer requires 300 meg internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Prepaid card offers end 9/13/2026.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
If you are over 62 and have been putting off a reverse mortgage, this may be the right time to take a closer look. Hi, I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. After nearly 20 years on the air, I'm retiring from radio advertising after September. I'm still helping clients, and if you want to work directly with me, now is the time to call. 425-649-6000. A reverse mortgage could help eliminate your mortgage payments, pay off debts, and give you more breathing room every month. It's not right for everyone, but for the right person, it can be a very smart financial tool. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, you speak directly with me. I'll explain your options, answer your questions, and tell you honestly whether it makes sense for your situation. If you've been thinking about a reverse mortgage, don't keep putting it off. Call me today at 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, you know, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Keep summer outside where it belongs. Save $588 on every window and $1,088 on every door, plus free heat deflecting glass. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Mixed results for far-left Democrats in yesterday's primaries in Florida. Democratic Socialist Angie Nixon did win the Democratic primary for Senate against former national security expert Alex Vindman.
Vindman was backed by establishment party leaders, and his campaign raised $16 million. None of it was enough to beat Nixon, who joined the DSA in the middle of her campaign.
We, the hard-working, everyday people of Florida, send a shockwave to the Washington
But far-left challengers coming up short elsewhere on the ballot, unable to unseat Florida Congressman Jared Moskowitz.
ABC's Jay O'Brien. The Navy confirming that another ship, this one the USS Benfold, lost power last month. That meant no drinking water, no working toilets, and no air conditioning for days in the South China Sea. That follows reports of shortages aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Middle East as well. Still without power in parts of Indiana a full week after serious flash flooding. This is ABC News. Charges announced against 14 people in connection with an alleged cocaine trafficking operation involving students associated with two fraternities at Penn State University.
According to the Attorney General of the state of Pennsylvania, he calls this a major cocaine operation that kind of went between Philadelphia, New York City, and the Penn State campus, led primarily by two individuals who are now both former Penn State students. One at the top of the food chain, again, according to officials, a gentleman named Agostino Abatiello, and underneath him, a guy named Thomas Robinson.
ABC's Matt Rivers. The fraternities, Delta Upsilon and Sigma Chi, are both off campus. Police say those involved were cutting and packaging the drugs at those frat houses. Millions more people may be able to get smaller, lightweight Amazon packages delivered by drone by the end of the year. Amazon says it's expanding its airborne shipping to suburban areas in nearly 500 cities. Amazon saying customers could get their packages within a half hour after placing orders. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 6:02, here's what's happening.
Homicide detectives in Seattle are working a deadly shooting at a First Hill apartment from last night.
A South King County lawmaker wants to toughen juvenile gun laws after that deadly shooting at the Bite of Seattle. The representative plans to refile a bill making it a two-strike offense. Right now, kids can be diverted 4 times before facing charges.
A Tri-Cities man has been convicted in federal court of running a major fentanyl operation. Prosecutors say they seized more than 50,000 pills, firearms, and cash tied to 30-year-old David Ayala.
And Amtrak expects full service between Seattle and Portland back by tomorrow after weeks of disruptions.
6:03 and time for our first check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes, and Chris Sullivan's watching things.
And we're off to a good start, as we imagine, this early hour. Just a little bit of braking here and there. If you're up the Valley Freeway, you're going to see some slowing out of Sumner, a little closer to Pacific, and then a little bit past Emerald Downs. Overall, we're running about 42 minutes to get you up into Renton. And then Renton to Bellevue's under 20, so we're not bad there. Olympia to Tacoma, nice and easy, 35 minutes there. Coming down from the north end, we're seeing a little westbound slowing across the trestle, but nothing you can't handle. And then about a 35-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Lake bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first, replacing only if it makes sense. Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good Wednesday morning. A hearing date is now set in the recall effort against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson.
KIRO Newsradio's Tim Hull is here live with details and reaction.
Mark your calendars. The hearing is set for 9 a.m. Monday, August 31st at the King County Courthouse. The recall petition filed last week by Seattle residents Melinda Jacobson and Dale Osterud. Melinda Jacobson talking with KIRO News Radio last week. Specifically, she said her husband accused Wilson of being derelict in her public safety duties, pointing to concerns along Aurora Avenue, the Chinatown International District, Belltown, and 3rd Avenue, along with Wilson's use of CCTV cameras and the departure of Police Chief Sean Barnes. The King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office has completed its technical review and sent the petition to Superior Court. Prosecutor's Office is neutral in this case and is not weighing in on whether the allegations are true. Judge will decide whether the allegations meet legal requirements for a recall and whether the proposed ballot language is adequate. Wilson's office has already pushed back on the effort. In a statement last week, the mayor's office says it, quote, does not appear to have merit, unquote, and said Wilson remains focused on making Seattle safer and more affordable. We're reaching out to the mayor's office this morning for an updated response.
All right, Tim Hull reporting live at 6:05.
Seattle police investigating a deadly shooting on First Hill. Officers responded to an apartment in the 900 block of 8th Avenue about 8 o'clock last night. They found a man with suspected gunshot wounds and attempted life-saving measures. Seattle fire medics, though, later pronounced him dead. Homicide detectives continue the investigation.
A teenager involved in last week's shooting at an undercover police officer in Seattle appeared in front of a judge yesterday. KIRO 7 TV's Jack Bilyeu reports a 17-year-old boy is accused of being the getaway driver.
Seattle police say the teen and two others were in a stolen car spotted driving around South Seattle. Investigators say they followed the car, then the two other suspects got out and fired at the officers. The car then took off and eventually crashed. A judge found probable cause for the case to move forward and ruled that this teen should remain in custody.
He's due back in court Friday, facing multiple charges, including felony hit and run. Prosecutors say the boy was already wanted for a series of armed robberies when he was arrested.
The shooting at Seattle Center is prompting a new push to crack down on juvenile gun possession. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
South King County State Representative David Hackney wants juvenile gun offenders pushed into the criminal justice system after just 2 gun cases instead of waiting for violence to erupt. Hackney says the Seattle Center suspect that died in the shooting had a prior gun arrest as a juvenile but faced no real consequences.
Nothing happened. He went back home, picked up another gun, and now we got 3 people dead.
Hackney says getting young gun offenders into the system sooner means they get more of the help they need. Right now, Washington juveniles can be diverted 4 times for gun possession before facing criminal charges on the 5th. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
It's 6:06 and a historically bad night for the Seattle Mariners.
Ground ball to third base. That should do it. Hamilton steps on third. This one over. All Brewers tonight. 22-0 the final. Brewers take game 1 of this series.
That's so weird. I thought I heard him say 22-0.
Yeah, it was 3 touchdowns, 1 with a 2-point conversion.
That's painful.
Apparently the Packers are playing. Worst loss in Mariners franchise history, and it also ties the modern Major League record for the biggest shutout. That goes back to the 1880s. The Brewers blasted 4 home runs to completely dismantle the Mariners. Things got so bad, they eventually put an infielder on the pitcher's mound. Leo Rivas gave up 9 runs in the 8th inning alone.
That was pretty painful.
That was indeed,
I just saw the video. I wasn't watching it. I had other things going on. But I just saw the video of Julio tossing it into the stands when there were only 2 outs.
He sure did. He sure did.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
I'm not even sure Sam's travel ball team has been shut out that badly before.
Yeah, pretty bad. But you know what? Refuse to lose. You gotta love these guys, right?
Things that we didn't have in 1888 to tie this.
Yes.
Barely electricity, refrigeration, airplanes, barely had radio. Casey at the Bat debuted in 1888. Jack the Ripper was going around in 1888. We had a presidential popular win, but lost the Electoral College over Cleveland. This is awful.
We have a Little League team to cheer for in
sure
Williamsport.
do.
We'll talk more about that in a moment.
Yeah, that is Sully over there with the trivia and traffic every 10 minutes on the threes.
You got to just...
I know.
I mean, it's cathartic, but at the same time, just maddening, frustrating.
I still have faith. I don't know about you guys.
That's Manda.
Well,
She's the optimist here.
Hey, that's one.
Mike Seibert producing the show this morning, filling in for David Burbank. Nick Fresia is at the control room running the board. And Tim Holt filling in for Luke Ducey this morning. We also have Katrina Gishard out at the news desk.
And this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Well, we have kind of an interesting forecast on tap for the weekend. And we'll talk to Emerald City Weather's Scott Sistek at 16. What the interesting weather is this weekend, and maybe a look at El Nino on the way.
Super El Nino. Also, the clock is ticking. The U.S. and Canada scrambling for a last-minute deal before a 50% tariff deadline hits. What happens if they don't reach a deal? We'll ask News Nation's Tom Dempsey coming up.
It's 6:10. In Snohomish County, Highway 99 could undergo a huge transformation.
The Department of Transportation plan covers nearly 7 miles from Linwood toward Everett. It could cost up to $800 million. Proposed improvements include bike lanes, better lighting, sidewalks, and safer pedestrian crossings. The department's Eric Sakula tells KIRO 7 TV public input will help.
From the people who use the stretch of roadway and who live in the community, they're the ones who will help us prioritize the improvements. And so it's really important for everybody's voice to be heard.
The online open house closes today.
Drivers in Edmonds about to face round-the-clock enforcement in school zones. The Everett Herald reports the City Council has approved operating 5 speed cameras at 4 schools 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Cameras previously operated only during school hours. Drivers going 7 miles per hour or more over the limit can receive a $144 ticket.
The city of Federal Way is facing a $50 million tort claim. We get the details from KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
The family of 27-year-old Leon Davis says he went to the hospital for help, only to be held down for a long time, leading to his death on March 14th. The King County Medical Examiner ruled Davis's death at St. Francis Hospital a homicide and found he died of a heart attack, which was brought on by being restrained face down for 25 minutes. The medical examiner says he had injuries to his neck, head, face, and wrists. In the tort claim, the family attorney is calling for a criminal investigation into potential manslaughter charges.
Group of 12-year-olds from Tacoma are on the national stage representing the Northwest in the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Dan Hudson's 12-year-old son is on the squad. He tells KIRO News Radio's G and Ursula a lot of the boys have played together for the last 4 years.
These guys have just gelled together for the last few years and have really made an asserted effort to be able to make this their goal. And to be able to have such a lofty goal and then actually be here is unreal.
The boys from Soundview Little League begin their tournament play today, playing the team from the Southwest region. First pitch at noon on ESPN.
I'm not going to say anything about the Mariners maybe watching and learning some things. It's 6:12.
Let's go Soundview.
Yes, I can't wait. I love the Little League World Series. It's fun. All right, 6:12. That's time for a check on the weather now. And for that, we bring in KIRO 7 TV's Nick Allard. Good morning, Nick. It was 22-0. Did you hear?
22-0. Oh, no, I heard. I heard. That's, you got to be in the record book someplace. So now we're tied for the biggest shutout. We're tied for we also have the most victories in a season. So, we got good stats.
Every rose has its thorn.
Indeed.
Don't you dare, Brent Michaels. Don't you dare. This morning, we're looking at some areas of low clouds and patchy fog, but then we see sunshine, and a lot of it, too. It'll be a beautiful day today. Not really seeing much in the way of haze, or not expecting much of that. I just expect to see some areas of low clouds, maybe a little drizzle with the fog, and then just about the sunshine for today, and highs around 80. Tomorrow, I think you're going to find basically the same thing, low 80s, and then on Friday, as we start to clear, because you'll have low clouds again, you're going to see some increasing high clouds. So the point is, you will see low clouds, the beginning of some sunshine, then high clouds on top of that, and that signals a change. That means we're going to find a weather system not too far behind it. So you're not going to see much sunshine Friday, still upper 70s, then low 70s Saturday, and you could see a few showers around both Saturday and Sunday in the low to mid 70s. But there may also be some thunderstorms in the Cascades or east of the Cascades. So if you're camping or if you're heading east of the Cascades, you got to be aware that there may be some thunderstorms. East will be breezy as well. So not the best, outdoor weather, but most of us on Saturday would just maybe see a shower or two. It's mainly more going to impact, the Cascades and east. So if you're going camping, I know you are.
Yep.
Where are you going again?
Chelan.
Yeah, see, I'm probably going to cancel my trip because there's smoke where I'm going.
Not an option.
And it will be breezy and it will be stormy. So I think I'm going to, Not an option.
Come on, we got a trailer. It's going to be great, Nick.
Oh, you're one of those.
Those.
Yeah, I got a tent.
Thank you, Nick. Right now, it's 58 in Seattle.
Time to check traffic. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we're definitely seeing the brake lights now southbound I-5 as you work your way through the forced merge in Northgate, up over 40 minutes to make that drive to go from Everett to Seattle, just under 40 from Everett to Bellevue. The Renton S-curve's already off to the races as well. We've got about a 20-minute trip for you. Behind that, the Valley Freeway at 40. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems. Just slight braking into DuPont. Federal Way to Seattle's under 40. Lake bridges are quiet. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
On Wednesdays, we speak with Scott Sistek, the meteorologist and founder of the Emerald City Weather blog, emeraldcityweather.com. And Scott, it looks like we have some thunder and lightning on the way. What's going on here?
There's some possibilities where it looks like we're going to have to pay the bill for this like week of really nice summer weather we've had here. We've still got a couple more days here today, tomorrow, looking really nice. But we have now more evidence showing that an area of low pressure is going to sneak through here kind of late Friday over and then into mostly Saturday and lingering into Sunday. And it looks like it may bring some clouds, some rain, even maybe some chances of thunderstorms to western Washington here. And it's not just the Olympics this time. It may be even in the lowlands here. We're still trying to, the models are still waffling on how much thunderstorms it'll be, but it looks like some chance of lightning somewhere in western Washington. And then of more concern is it looks like it's going to keep going and go into the Cascades and into northeastern Washington, which is like the last place we need lightning right now. So we're keeping an eye on that. Like I said, late Friday into Saturday, into even Sunday into eastern Washington. And so some showers and thunderstorms, maybe dry lightning in eastern Washington as well. So that's another thing, is these storms may not put out a whole lot of rain. So not what we want to see right now in eastern Washington, but it is at least another week closer to autumn.
And we're keeping an eye on that. And Scott, just so we understand what that might mean for us here in western Washington, would this be a severe thunder and lightning outbreak?
Doesn't look severe right now. It looks kind of like, at the moment, it's sort of like, I call it our garden variety thunderstorms here, that it's like we get excited about, and then anybody who lives anywhere outside of the Northwest is like, come on, this is like breakfast for us. So I think at this point it doesn't look too bad. We've had a few rounds of these thunderstorms over the summer. It's probably going to be in that realm of like, not everyone gets it. It's not like big lines of thunderstorms or widespread, just like hit and miss. But, it's like 10 minutes of what's that outside, and then it passes.
Okay, so after this this weekend, what are we looking at in the long-range forecast?
Looks actually like we bounce right back to the nice weather starting like kind of late Sunday, we clear out, and then Monday, Tuesday look good. And then we're watching for like another possible system kind of middle of next week. So we must be starting to get out of summer here. We're talking about rain maybe twice in a week now, which is interesting. But that's still very uncertain. It's been kind of waffling on that, so we're keeping an eye on it. But it looks like Monday, Tuesday, kind of right back to these upper 70s, morning clouds, afternoon sun sort of thing. So overall, in the general sense, pretty good. But this weekend, definitely like a blip.
Yeah, be ready for it. Okay, and speaking of getting ready, there's increasing confidence in what we're calling a super El Nino. I think you've referred to it as super duper El Nino, among other things. What are we looking at? Is this going to be historic?
It looks very much like historic. I know a lot of people have seen a lot of hyperbole around this, and at least as far as like the numbers and the data go, the hyperbole is warranted. We're already at just about a strong El Nino now, and we're not looking at a peak until like October, November. So we've still got months for this thing to ramp up. And I was thinking about a good analogy of this is like, think back when we had that really record hot day in 2021, and we had 108 in Seattle, and how our minds were blown by that. The metaphor I think is, let's say it's 101 degrees in Seattle, and you're like, wow, that's a record, but it's only 9 a.m. And so you're kind of thinking of the potential like, wow, we're already this hot. How hot are we going to go when we get to the peak of the day? So it's not like it's going to be 101 during the El Nino, but just kind of like a metaphor. It's already very warm in the ocean out there, and there's so much more potential for it to go even higher. And all of our charts, every single model we have is saying it's going to be strong. I think NOAA said a 90% chance it's going to be like on the upper chart, and a 70% chance it's going to be like an all-time record. And I think it may not just be an all-time record. I think we're going to go well past the all-time record, and that's what's getting our attention, is we're really heading into uncharted territory here.
What are some of the implications of that?
So there's two. Well, if you look at like what I call the script of El Nino, like if you look at, El Ninos come through here every 3 to 7 years. And typically it's sort of like, it's a mild winter. We don't get a lot of mountain snow. We don't get hardly any lowland snow. And it's usually ends up a little drier than average. So it's not a very exciting winter. Actually, kind of like our last winter is kind of what I would say is a normal El Nino, even though it wasn't. But that's kind of the playbook we would go by if we were just looking at a normal El Nino. But since this one's going so far off the chart, my idea is we're kind of like flying blind here. Like we can kind of look at our past script. We really don't have a script to go off for this. It's sort of like we can read half the script. We know what's going on now, but this is really going into places that nobody's really seen before or has data for. So I think everybody's kind of like the meteorologists are kind of on edge because we really don't have a good, knowledge base of what this has done in the past, if this has ever happened.
What are a couple of scenarios if you were to play this out?
I had a few on there. Now, these were not forecaster or these are expectations. These are things that have happened in our climate that have been kind of the upper end that might happen when things are kind of going crazy. And so one of them is, Seattle hasn't had a day over 4 inches of rain in a year once. We've had once before. So I'm thinking most of the rain in the El Nino year is expected to go into California. Like they're looking at, their managers down there are very worried about a lot of flooding rains and really big atmospheric rivers. And not just, potent atmospheric rivers, really, really big atmospheric rivers. So I could see one of those, even if most of the storms go down there, not all of them. And if any of the pattern shifts and it moves one up here, a couple up here, we could get some really flooding, storms here. So I'm thinking if we do get a flooding storm, maybe a pretty good one, even if it's rare for the winter. I don't think we're going to see a lot of snow. I presented one kind of complex scenario, if it gets really warm in Alaska, something warmth goes there, that can sometimes push Arctic air our way briefly, for a couple of days. And it's okay, put that with some of these warm storms, and now you get kind of like a 1996 snow. For those of you who were here 30 years ago, remember that December 96 where it snowed 1.5 feet and then rained on top of it. I could see, not connect to the Northwest, I could see maybe, California getting hit with a lot more tropical remnants because the Pacific hurricane season is already very active and just going to get revved up even more. We've already seen what happened with Hawaii last week. So I could see maybe California getting a brush with a Southern California, maybe a tropical storm if all things go well. Again, this is just this is me, throwing darts here. I'm not predicting this is going to happen, but these are just some of the things that they're not unheard of. They're just rare. But when you start putting really big kinks in the atmosphere like this, you start looking at what kind of extreme weather could happen.
So if I'm hearing you right, this is so extreme, it's impossible to predict, and that is making you a little nervous.
Yes. It's we have a script, but it may not be a very accurate script because we can't, most of the time we look at a weather pattern, it's we can look back in history and say, okay, we've seen this before. It may not follow the script. It may, curveballs and whatnot, but we have a general idea. And I think we still kind of have a general idea. It's just that we don't have research of what happens when the ocean temperatures are this warm in the tropical Pacific. We know when they've kind of been this warm. We know where they've been 2/3 to 3/4 this warm. But what happens when they go, what's going to happen when we get to October, November, and December when we're hitting the peak? And what kind of effects will it have on the atmosphere?
That is meteorologist Scott Zisek with the Emerald City Weather blog, emeraldcityweather.com.
Just about 6:23. That's time for a check on traffic. Now we do that every 10 minutes. Sully, what's happening?
Well, I'm looking for something on southbound I-5 getting into the Mount Lake Terrace area right around the Nile Golf Course. Haven't found it yet, but we've gone all bumper to bumper really quickly there, and it's gone red on the map. And we're up over 50 minutes now to go from Everett into Seattle because you add that to the normal stuff we have down in Northgate, and it's already very slow out of Snohomish County. For 405, it's much better. It's only 40 minutes total from Everett into Bellevue. Coming the other direction, Renton to Bellevue's got about a 22-minute trip. Valley Freeway's under 45 behind it. Just kind of the annoyingly under the speed limit kind of drive off and on here and there, but nothing super severe out of Sumner. Federal Way to Seattle, same deal. You're going under the speed limit past the the Kent Des Moines Road and the West Seattle Bridge, but overall not too bad. 45 minutes or less from Federal Way to Seattle, probably closer to 40. Olympia to Tacoma's quiet. Pierce County is as well. 18 over Tiger Mountain looks good. 16 looking really good as well. Across the lake, we've got no problems. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer, presented by T-Mobile. Next show, August 21st, as the Mariners take on the Cubs. Get your tickets, mariners.com/fireworks.
Morning clouds, afternoon sun, high in the upper 70s to low 80s today, tomorrow, and Friday. Might have some showers for the weekend. Chance of isolated thunderstorms as well. Right now in Seattle, it's 57.
And coming up in just a moment, Seattle police investigating a deadly shooting on First Hill. We'll get all the details from KIRO Newsradio's Tim Hull.
We'll also have your opening bell report. That's ahead on Seattle's Morning News.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Boytine from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Hey, I know something you probably haven't done in a while. Climb into your crawl space or your attic. Yeah, me neither. Mike Salk here. And most homeowners avoid those areas for good reason, but it's important to check on them regularly, especially here in the Northwest, where groundwater can wreak havoc and many homes lack the proper insulation in these spaces. So when it's hot in the summer, your house gets even hotter. And guess what? When it's cold in the winter, your house gets even colder because you don't have enough insulation. The good news, you don't have to crawl into those dingy areas because Crawl Pros will do it. They go where you don't want to. That's what they did at my house. They found a little rodent intrusion and they found the insulation problem. So yeah, they can help you get it all fixed just like they did with me. And if you need any work done, local utility companies offer rebates that could save you thousands on your project. Don't just assume that your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we are always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Are you looking to buy a house, but like everyone, you're priced out of the Bellevue, Kirkland, and Seattle market? Many buyers have the income, the credit, and the desire to own, but simply don't have the down payment, often at least $75,000 just for a starter home. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue, with a great opportunity for home buyers. Introducing our Legacy Opportunity Loan. Legacy Group Capital has a select group of 100 new construction, single-family, and townhomes in the top Western Washington locations. Acquire a new construction home with no down payment, allowable closing costs paid, and a competitive rate. Yes, that's no down payment and some closing costs paid by Legacy. A wise man once said, the hardest part of winning in real estate is just getting in. And now you can with our Legacy Opportunity Loan. So get in the game.
Limited properties available to qualified Washington borrowers. Learn more about this limited opportunity at LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital LLC at MLS ID 99045. Visit LegacyG.com for additional program details.
Motorcycle accident cases require a thorough investigation by a team of experienced legal professionals if they have any chance of being successful. Insurance companies, juries, and even the police tend to assume the worst about motorcycle riders. Get help from an experienced team of attorneys that have successfully resolved hundreds of motorcycle accident cases over the past 30 years. Call Davis Law Group for a free legal consultation or get my free book on motorcycle accidents at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Paid political announcement. Hey, Seattle, did you know your groceries could be getting more expensive? Seattle City Hall is considering an ordinance that could put grocery rewards and coupons on the chopping block. The mayor's proposed fair pricing ordinance could have the exact opposite outcome and make everyday living more expensive. Protect Seattle Savings is a coalition dedicated to defending the everyday savings that Seattle families rely on. Visit ProtectSeattleSavings.com to learn more and join the cause.
Paid for by Protect Seattle Savings.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from Eastlake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:30. A man is dead. The shooter remains at large after a killing inside a First Hill apartment.
KIRO News Radio's Tim Hole joins us live with the latest.
Yes, Seattle police say the shooting happened Tuesday night near 8th and Marion. A 911 caller reported a man dead inside an apartment around 8 o'clock last night. Officers found the man with a suspected gunshot wound, began life-saving efforts until Seattle fire medics arrived and pronounced him dead. Police say the victim was about 25 years old. Homicide detectives are investigating. No suspect in custody as far as we know, and police have not released any information about what led up to the shooting or whether the victim and shooter knew each other. Anyone with information has to call Seattle police.
All right, Tim, keep us updated. It's 6:31.
The recall effort against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is moving to court. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
We learned 2 KIRO 7 viewers filed the recall petition.
I saw on KIRO 7, as a matter of fact, I was going to watch a program, but it kept breaking news, and finally at 10:45 there was a news conference. Now you can't tell me that she didn't know what was going on, and to blame it on the police department, I'm sorry. Her communication skills are deplorable.
Now, the case has been assigned to a Superior Court judge. He'll hear that case Monday, August 31st. If the judge decides it goes forward, then signatures would have to be gathered to have the recall put on the ballot in November.
One of the teenagers accused of killing an 18-year-old man inside a Tacoma apartment elevator has pleaded guilty. The News Tribune reports 16-year-old Caleb Prince Tramble pleaded guilty yesterday to second-degree murder. Prosecutors say Tramble and 3 other teens confronted Messiah Washington in the elevator of his apartment building back in February of last year. One of the other teens shot Washington multiple times. Video then showed Tramble pull out his own gun and pointed at Washington as he lay on the floor. A Pierce County judge sentenced Tramble to juvenile rehabilitation until he turns 25.
A Thurston County man who declared himself the most well-known drug dealer in the county is headed back to prison. 40-year-old David Hoffman was sentenced yesterday to 11 years in federal prison for dealing meth and illegally possessing a firearm. Prosecutors say Hoffman went right back to selling drugs after finishing a prior federal sentence, even while under court supervision. When arrested last August, prosecutors say he had cocaine and a gun with its serial number removed.
Stay out of the water at Houghton Beach and Juanita Beach in Kirkland. Public Health Seattle and King County says bacteria levels exceed safe thresholds. The swimming areas will remain closed for at least a week. County crews will test the water again next week. The rest of both parks remain open.
It's 6:33. That's time for a check on traffic. Now, we do that every 10 minutes for you. How we doing, Sully?
Well, we're not too bad, man. Whatever we were dealing with on southbound I-5 through Mount Lake Terrace there down towards the Nile Golf Course seems to have taken care of itself. We're back to a little bit of yellow there than red, so that's positive. So we've picked up the pace. We're back under 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle, but not by much. About 45 from Everett to Bellevue as brake lights now are starting to show up as we approach the express toll lanes getting down into Canyon Park. A little bit further to the north, a little westbound slowing across the trestle, a little bit southbound 5 south of 529 out of Marysville, but nothing you can't handle. The Federal Way to Seattle Drive running right around 42 minutes, just under 45 from Puyallup to Renton. There are brake lights, certainly, getting through Auburn and at the north end part of that drive. Eastbound 512 a little heavy as well as we work our way down the South Hill. Northbound I-5, Olympia to Tacoma, 35 minutes or less, about 40 from Federal Way to Seattle, if I didn't already give you that. Lake bridges are quiet. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Looks like we'll have a high around 79 in Seattle. Morning clouds make way for afternoon sun. Pretty much the same deal for the next couple of days. Then we hit the weekend where there's a chance of showers, maybe even a little lightning. We expect to have highs in the low 70s on Saturday and Sunday. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 57.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. The Standard & Poor's posted its third consecutive daily loss Tuesday, giving up about 0.7%. Losses were heavier for the tech-intensive NASDAQ, while the Dow Jones surrendered 116 points to close at 53,343. Shares in Spain's Diolio soared 17% this morning amid an intensifying takeover battle for the world's largest olive oil company. Another Spanish company has offered $545 million for Diolio. It was down to the wire, but President Trump has delayed hefty new tariffs on more than $20 billion in Canadian imports. After talks with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, Trump posted that the two countries have a tentative trade deal in place. Buy now, pay later for groceries. The New York Times reports that Americans increasingly are using short-term financing to pay for essentials like gas and rent. $160 billion in pay-later loans were taken out last year, twice as many as 2023. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Opening statements started yesterday in the Meta trial in Oakland, California. 29 states, including Washington, are suing the social media company over child safety and privacy. States are seeking billions in damages as well as fundamental changes to how Meta runs its platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Here's ABC technology reporter Mike Dubusky.
This goes back to the very core of Facebook and Instagram, which are, of course, the flagship products of Meta. What this lawsuit from originally more than 30 state attorneys general says is that features baked into the very core of those products are intentionally designed to be addictive, especially for young people. And what that resulted in was all sorts of negative health outcomes, everything from anxiety to depression to, in some cases, suicidal ideation.
Another round of layoffs coming to TikTok's Bellevue workforce. According to Washington's Employment Security Department, TikTok Shop, that is, plans to eliminate 75 local positions in October. The company cut dozens of Bellevue jobs last year. TikTok has said it regularly reviews operations as its e-commerce business evolves.
Seattle's Office of Labor Standards says Uber Eats will pay nearly $4.4 million to more than 14,000 workers. The settlement covers alleged violations of Seattle's minimum payment law, including unpaid minimum payments or some canceled orders and work performed in the city. Uber Eats will also pay nearly $6,000 in fines to Seattle. It's the second largest settlement for the office.
We've told you Costco is looking to step into the Medicare market with a new partnership in select states. Let's get more details from ABC News Chief Business Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis.
The wholesale giant is partnering with nonprofit insurer SCAN to bring Medicare Advantage plans to 2 states and a Medicare supplement plan to a 3rd state. The company says that these 3 target markets include about 5 million Medicare eligible enrollees, but they are not naming yet specific states or timing while they wait for the government approval that they need.
The old Theo Chocolate Building in Fremont getting new life. Puget Sound Business Journal reports 3 new food and drink spots are headed to the landmark on Finney Avenue North. Seattle-based Here Today Brewery and Kitchen is opening a coffee shop, a cocktail lounge, and an oyster bar inside the building. All 3 expected to open this fall. The 121-year-old brick building started as the Fremont Trolley Barn back in 1905. Later housed Red Hook Brewery and its Trolleyman Pub for years.
If you have State Farm car insurance, some money could be headed your way. The News Tribune reports the company is sending $5 billion in dividends to customers who had auto policies last year. It's about $100 per vehicle on average. It's the biggest payout in State Farm's 100-year history. Some checks have already gone out, so the rest come in waves. State Farm is the largest auto insurer in Washington.
On Wall Street, we are starting the trading day in positive territory. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 116 points right now. That's 0.22%. S&P 500 doing the best of all the indexes. It is up 25 points. That is 0.33%. And the NASDAQ has gained 40 points. points. That's 0.15%.
KIRO 7 Pinpoint Alert Days. Your advance notice to stay safe in the heat, smoke, and summer storms. When weather threatens to disrupt your day and your plans, KIRO 7 sounds the alarm and alerts you days in advance. Stay informed to stay ready with KIRO 7 Pinpoint weather only on KIRO 7 TV.
All right, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
We're going to take a look at the slowing we have on southbound I-5 and up in Marysville and down in Northgate. So we'll break it down for you next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
I've lived here almost my entire life.
Seattle's morning news host, Charlie Harger.
I love Seattle. I love that I'm able to raise my children here.
Hear Charlie's 7:35 commentary every morning on Seattle's morning news.
So when I see something that I think might need some attention, that's me pointing out areas of improvement. That is not me saying that Seattle is somehow bad.
You can watch all of Charlie's commentaries anytime on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When you're finally off the clock after a long day, dishes put away, kids asleep, feet kicked up, heartburn. Don't let heartburn take over your hard-earned moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Alka-Seltzer effervescent tablets begin neutralizing stomach acid in seconds, so you can get back to your one more episode marathon. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Use as directed.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain. DayandNight.net. Slow drain? Backed up toilet? Call Day and Night to save $100 off any drain cleaning.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating.
From a slow drain to a major backup, no drain is too big or too small. Whether we're your first choice or smart second opinion, I guarantee our experts will solve any drain problem, day or night. Now get $100 off any drain cleaning. DayandNight.net.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
It's 6:43. We check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And we've got braking here and there across the board in our usual suspect locations. Coming down from the north end, we're actually seeing some slowing through Marysville. I've been looking at the cameras there, seeing if there's anything between 528 and 529. Anything other than volume and merging, haven't really seen it. So maybe a minute lost there. It's also pretty heavy westbound across the trestle, trying to get over to the I-5 corridor. And then you've got about a 50-minute trip from Everett into Seattle, about 45 from Everett into Bellevue. Really starting to bog down now from 145th past the Forest Merge in Northgate. Looking at northbound 405 being a little bit heavier this time of day than I'd like to see. Almost a half an hour to make that drive up into Bellevue. It's really heavy through those S-curves before you get a nice gap until you head up into downtown Bellevue. Behind that, the Valley Freeway, about 45 to 50 minutes depending on how you hit the volume. It's under the speed limit really coming out of Sumner today, but not by much. Looking at Olympia to Tacoma, 35 minutes there. Some brake lights up the hill to 18. just under 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. The I-5 northbound drive is not bad. The lake bridges are great. This report brought to you by Carpet Liquidators. August is Kerostan month at Carpet Liquidators. Purchase beautiful Kerostan carpet and get free installation. Why pay retail? They've got you covered at Carpet Liquidators.
And hard to say it without singing,
It's the voice of an angel, really.
Something like that.
Right. The forecast, a little angelic if you like nice, warm, not too hot. 79 the forecast high today in Seattle after morning clouds burn off. 81 on Thursday, 79 on Friday. Might have some showers, maybe even a lightning bolt or two on Saturday and Sunday with highs in the low 70s.
Angelic weather?
Yeah, why not?
Bit of a stretch, but okay.
I'm enjoying it.
How cool is it now?
Right now, it is so cool. It's like the other side of the pillow. It's 57.
Why did I do that? Coming up, a looming 50% tariff deadline could mean higher costs and new trade tensions between the U.S. and Canada, but the president says we have a deal. News Nation's Tom Dempsey is going to join us with the latest coming up next.
We're here for Closets by Design. You ever have one of those mornings where you're already behind, can't find what you need, closet's a mess, pantry's overflowing, garage is basically unusable? Not doing anything wrong. Most homes just weren't set up to work the way we actually live. Closets by Design isn't just closets. It's garages that finally park cars, pantries you can actually use, laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, entertainment centers, mudrooms. Everything. And here's the key. It's all custom built in Kent, designed for your home, your routines, nothing off a shelf, nothing pre-made. When things are designed right, your day just goes smoother with less clutter and frustration. Everything finally has a place. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months of 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
You're in charge of ordering boxes. Small boxes, really big boxes. You're in charge of tape, labels, mailers, bubble wrap, extra bubble wrap, just for fun. You're in charge of warehouse cleaning and safety supplies. Good thing there's Uline. Thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline makes it easy because you already do enough. Uline, we warehouse for you.
Bonneville, Seattle, and KIRO Newsradio are looking for organizations that regularly distribute information about employment opportunities to job applicants or have job applicants to refer. If your organization would like to receive notifications of job vacancies, please notify Human Resources at 1820 Eastlake Avenue East, Seattle, Washington 98102, or email us at seattlealljobs@bonneville.com or call 206-726-6902. Bonneville is an equal opportunity employer.
I want a woman. I want a big girl.
See the hysterical Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias when he takes the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, Saturday, August 29th at 5:30 and 9:30 p.m.
This way, we both can agree on the temperature of the thermostat.
He's sold out stadiums around the world, and now he's coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on August 29th. Get tickets before they're gone to laugh out loud with Gabriel Iglesias at muckleshootcasino.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
6:48 now. America's biggest game could potentially be played overseas. Here's News Nation's Blake Berman.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell saying the Super Bowl even could possibly be played outside the U.S., but with one stipulation. The commissioner telling a German television network, quote, there are definitely international cities that could host the Super Bowl, but we would like to see an NFL team in such a city first.
An overseas Super Bowl won't happen in the near future. Next three big games after Los Angeles are already on the books in Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Nashville.
As long as we're talking football, the Seattle Seahawks still plan to sign cornerback Terrion Arnold Don't expect to see him on the field soon. The NFL Network reports once the deal is done, Arnold will be sidelined indefinitely while he faces 8 felony charges in Florida, including armed robbery and kidnapping. That means the former first-round pick won't be allowed to play or even practice. His one-year deal with the Hawks is still being finalized, and the team says the process will take some time.
Well, another high honor for Mariners broadcaster Rick Riz.
This is going, and it is gone. Goodbye, baseball.
Team announced it will honor Riz with a farewell weekend during the final home series of the regular season. 3-day celebration includes a fireworks night, a ceremonial first pitch from Riz, and a fan tribute. Riz is wrapping up his 41st and final season with the M's. He'll be inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame next season.
A local woman has become the first person on record to swim all the way around Vashon Island. 51-year-old Mary Singer completed the roughly 32-mile swim in just over 15 hours, wearing just a standard swimsuit. The News Tribune reports she made the swim last week with support crews and escort boats. Singer is a veteran open water swimmer with major endurance swims across the country and in England on her resume. She tells the Tribune the Vashon Island swim was the longest and toughest of her career.
It's 6:50.
Researchers recently found about 6 in 10 fathers living in the state of Georgia die from avoidable causes within the first 5 years of their child's life. The leading causes include homicide, accidents, suicide, and drug overdoses. The JAMA pediatric study also found that higher education levels are linked to a lower risk of accidental death and homicide. Experts say a child's connection with their father plays an important role in development. Losing a father can have lasting effects on children, including mental health challenges, struggles in school, and a lower sense of belonging. While this study only focused on one state, the study authors say supporting fathers everywhere is key. That includes expanding mental health resources, encouraging men to take part in health programs, and strengthening community care systems. Empower the dads in your life, especially new dads, to take care of their mental health and reach out for professional help if they need it. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Philadelphia police are still looking for a masked person causing havoc for joggers in the area. ABC's Rhiannon Alley explains.
Chilling video released by investigators shows a man wearing a disturbing doll face mask.
He's actively engaged in running up to people. It looks like he's attempting to scare or antagonize them.
Police now scouring surveillance video in the area, believing he's threatened or chased at least a half a dozen people. Police say the suspect is seen using a cell phone, appearing to film the terrifying encounters. Intelligence units now scouring social media.
Have you seen this yet?
I haven't seen
It's the stuff
any
of
this.
nightmares.
Yeah, well, this is how you get yourself injured in Philadelphia.
Exactly.
It's 6:52.
ABC Entertainment News.
The Descendants is getting a new spin-off. The new film, Hidden Heroes, a Descendants story, will come to Disney Channel and Disney Plus and spotlight the journeys of some of Disney's most beloved villains and sidekicks. The cast includes Darren Criss, James Monroe Iglehart, and Sherry Cola.
Very small room here, and I'd like to...
Olivia Colman is the latest to join the star-studded cast of Only Murders in the Building Season 6. The new season of the hit Hulu comedy is filming in the UK now. Disney is the parent company of Disney Plus, Hulu, and ABC News. Teen Moms Baseball is the newest reality series coming to Paramount Plus. The show, produced by Kim Kardashian, follows a group of parents whose sons attend legendary Prep Academy, a school specializing in pro baseball prep. It premieres September 24th.
Steph, have mercy on my ears.
And happy birthday to America's favorite uncle, John Stamos. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
How far can your dollar go when buying a car? According to a new analysis from Kelley Blue Book and Edmunds, the idea of an affordable used car is going the same way as a Studebaker. ABC's Jim Ryan has more.
Buying a new car isn't much easier than buying a house. Edmunds and Kelley Blue Book both have the average used vehicle going for more than $27,000. Dealers anticipate even higher prices if new tariffs take effect.
It's now 6:53, and that's time for a check on the drive. We do traffic every 10 minutes. Chris Sullivan is watching.
And we have no real surprises out there as we run towards 7 o'clock. We've got the heavy brake lights right where they should be, and the heaviest of them are on the freeways are certainly on 405 right through Canyon Park and for I-5 south of 145th. Getting closer to 55 minutes from Everett to Seattle and about 50 from Everett to Bellevue. We also have heavy braking on southbound 9 through the construction zone in Snohomish. Also on 204 and 2 getting across the trestle. It's pretty pretty heavy westbound across the trestle today. 522 is not too bad over the Snohomish River or through Maltby and tying into 405. Looking at 405 northbound itself, really slow through the Renton S-curves, extending up past 30th now. Plus, we're seeing some slowing into the South Bellevue area. We might have had or be working on a new crash stall right there before Southeast 8th. Kind of went all red on the map from I-90 up to that spot just in the last minute or 90 seconds. So plan on some delays there. I'll have more for you on that in 10. The Puyallup to Renton Drive running right around 45 minutes. Westbound 410, a little heavy through Sumner, a little later in the morning than I'd like to see. Olympia to Tacoma's got 35 minutes. And about 40 to 45 from Everett to Seattle, Federal Way to Seattle, up the I-5 corridor is not bad. Lake bridges are fine. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance, heating, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical. Home Comfort Alliance, repairs first, replacing only if it makes sense. Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Headed for a high of 79 today with afternoon sun once these morning clouds burn off. 81 the forecast high for tomorrow, 79 on Friday. Few showers, maybe even a chance of lightning on Saturday. 72 the high. Right now, it's 57.
And coming up, the effort to recall Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is headed to court. We have a date now, and KIRO News Radio's Tim Hull has details.
And former state AG Rob McKenna joins us at 7:15 to explain why a major ruling this week could affect who leads federal prosecutions here in Western Washington.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Flo here to say drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Nice. With my new savings, I'll get some hiking gear. It'll be great for my outdoor era.
I don't know if it counts as an era if you just buy stuff.
I got a cute hiking backpack. It's an outdoor era.
Well, you only bought one thing. I don't think it's an era.
Well, I think we're in a agree to disagree era.
Yeah, sure, you're probably right. Anyway, with the money you could save by switching to Progressive, you can afford to switch to other things in life. It's
my savings era.
Also, everything you do is not an era.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
He flew fighter jets in 2 wars and taught you how to drive a car. He fed everyone on the block, but never shared his secret recipes. And every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorpsConnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Another primary election day, this one in the state of Florida. Trump-backed Congressman Byron Donalds has won the GOP race for governor. He will be vying for the job Ron DeSantis currently has.
My administration will be guided by 3 pillars: making Florida accountable, achievable, and most of all, affordable.
Also winning in the Florida race for Senate, State Representative Angie Nixon, a Democratic socialist. She won her party's nomination for the seat once held by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The United Arab Emirates today suspending all trade with Iran after coming under renewed fire, it says, from Tehran. On trial in California, Facebook and Instagram parent company Meta. This is State Attorney General Rob Bonta.
This is about our children, the next generation, our kids. They deserve to be safe.
He and other attorneys general sued, saying that Meta knew its products were addictive and fueling anxiety and depression and went ahead with their development anyway. This is ABC News. Philadelphia police are still looking for a creepy man who's been terrorizing women near City Hall.
Chilling video released by investigators shows a man wearing a disturbing doll face mask.
He's actively engaged in running up to people. It looks like he's attempting to scare or antagonize them.
Police now scouring surveillance video in the area, believing he's threatened or chased at least a half a dozen people. Police say the suspect is seen using a cell phone, appearing to film the terrifying encounters. Intelligence units now scouring social media.
ABC's Rhiannon Alley. Excited crowds on Pompano Beach, Florida, just north of Fort Lauderdale, where the first jellyfish museum is now open. The founders fled Ukraine after starting a similar museum there. In Florida, Ariana Pelkovich is the one who runs it.
Biggest idea here to leave people with the feeling that they know something more about the population of jellyfish.
The facility houses 20 unique species. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 7:02, here's what's happening. Seattle police are investigating a deadly shooting on First Hill. We'll have an update from Tim Hole in just a moment. A teenager accused of being the getaway driver in last week's shooting of an undercover Seattle police officer went before a judge yesterday. And the recall effort against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson has a court date. We'll have more coming up. Coming up on 7:03 now, we check traffic every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
All right, over the last 10 minutes, I was able to find out we had a little fender bender or issue on northbound 405. Right as you get at the crest of the hill going into South Bellevue there, right before you go down to Southeast 8th, because of the lane configuration and now how the HOV lane splits off into its own lane there. There's a little gore point there. There was a person there stuck, and they were out of their vehicle, which is always a dicey situation, a big distraction, but it looks to have taken care of itself. Back to about 35 minutes to Renton to Bellevue, and hopefully going faster than that here shortly. So behind schedule there a little bit. Rest of the map about what you would expect for 7:03. We've got Puyallup to Renton of about 45 to 48 minutes. The Federal Way to Seattle Drive is about 45, which actually isn't too bad. A little slowing southbound 5 through Marysville, a little westbound across the Trestle, but the show already pulling away from I-5 at Linwood, going down to Bellevue.
reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
50 minutes Everett to Bellevue and $15 in that express toll lane. We've got 55 from Everett to Seattle. This report brought to you by Subaru Puyallup during the Subaru Lot to Love event on through the 31st. Enjoy great financing on select new cars at Subaru of Puyallup. Visit SubaruPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. At 7:04, a hearing date is now set in the effort to recall Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson.
KIRO News Radio's Tim Hull is live with details and reaction from the people behind that petition.
Good morning. The hearing set for Monday, August 31st, 9 a.m. in a King County courtroom. The woman behind the recall effort says this is really about public safety.
One of the things was the Aurora problem. When I talked to some of the people directly involved with the horrible situation there and found out that she had ignored their phone calls, emails, and trying to meet in person for over 6 months. That is appalling.
And that's Melinda Jacobson on KIRO News Radio last week, shortly after filing the petition along with her husband.
She's not doing this city any favors by staying in as mayor.
Jacobson says Wilson has fallen short on public safety in several parts of the city, including Aurora, as she mentioned, the Chinatown International District, Belltown, and 3rd Avenue.
I've been thinking about this for a while, but the icing on the cake, so to speak, was when she did a forced resignation of Chief Barnes, and that did it.
So now a judge has to decide whether those allegations are enough to move the recall effort forward. Wilson's office has already pushed back. It said last week the recall effort, quote, does not appear to have merit, unquote, and says the mayor is focused on making Seattle safer and more affordable. We've reached out again this morning for an updated response and some history here. The last Seattle mayoral recall actually make the ballot was 1975. Voters ultimately kept Mayor Wes Ullman in office.
Tim Holt. Thank you very much. It's 7:05.
A man is dead following a shooting in Seattle's First Hill neighborhood. Police say 911 received a call about 8 o'clock last night about a person who was dead inside an apartment. Officers found the man suffering from suspected gunshot wounds. If you have any information, you're asked to call Seattle Police Violent Crimes Tip Line.
A 17-year-old boy is accused of being the getaway driver when shots were fired at undercover Seattle police last week. The incident ended in a crash after a high-speed chase involving 2 other suspects. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas reports that a teenage suspect faced a judge yesterday.
A judge ruled that the teen should remain in custody. He faces potential charges of rendering criminal assistance, unlawful possession of a gun, felony hit and run, and attempting to elude a police vehicle.
Prosecutors say the boy was already wanted for a series of armed robberies when he was arrested.
Lawmakers in Olympia are pointing to the deadly Seattle Center shooting as proof Washington's juvenile gun possession laws need to change. South King County State Representative David Hackney says he will refile a bill to make juvenile gun possession a 2-strike offense. Hackney argues early intervention could prevent shootings like what happened at the Bite of Seattle.
Well, hopefully you can provide some counseling, some services to them that get them back on the right track. If you just send them back home again, you should expect it to happen again.
Right now, Washington juveniles can be diverted 4 times for gun possession before facing criminal charges on the 5th offense.
The Seattle Mariners just suffered a humiliating defeat on the road. The Milwaukee Brewers crushed the Mariners.
Don't say it.
22-0 last night.
Ouch.
The massive blowout ties the modern-era baseball record for the worst shutout loss. That dates back to the 1800s. Milwaukee hit 4 home runs to build a huge lead early in the game. Blowout forced Mariners infielder Leo Rivas to pitch the 8th inning. The Brewers actually used their own catcher to pitch the final inning. The 22-run deficit, yeah, it's the worst loss in Mariners history.
Hey, they gave us something to talk about today.
They sure did.
Look on the bright side, huh?
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
It's 7:08.
Listen to the drums there. That's Frank Beard.
Yes, indeed.
The late, great Frank Beard, ZZ Top, died yesterday, age 77.
It is Wednesday, August 19th. Glad to have you with us for Seattle's Morning News. He's Charlie Harger. I'm Manda Factor.
And Sully is over there. I noted you didn't have any of your trivia, any trivia about the Mariners' loss yesterday.
What, you mean like electricity wasn't invented? Now the 22-0 loss, it's happened a couple times in like the last 40-ish years, but it goes all the way back. Tied. It goes all the way back to, 1887, 1888 with the Quakers. I think they actually won 24-0 back then, but statistics weren't exactly ideal back in 1888.
They're only 4 games back.
But you know what?
3 out of the
didn't have
wild card.
Electricity.
There's still a chance.
You know what else happened in 1888? By the way, they plotted for the Fremont neighborhood that didn't exist in Seattle. Neither did Leschi. That was created as a park.
See, thanks to the Mariners, I've learned a lot today.
So really, this was a bonus for us. We were able to learn about Seattle and electricity from Sully.
Yeah. Going back, a lot of good things, a lot of crazy things happened in 1888. Huge blizzards across the U.S.
Yeah,
maybe underground. Maybe underground Seattle was the actual Seattle in the 1800s.
I think Nick's right.
Yeah, you probably nailed it. Yeah, I mean,
when was the Seattle fire?
89?
89.
Yeah.
So the Seattle fire was 89, and again. 18. We're not talking 19. 18. Got to do something to laugh because it was bad. When you get a text from Aaron Granillo when you were asleep, and he's the biggest big Seattle fan in our newsroom.
He is.
I was like, oh, this is not good.
Nick, where are you? Do they still have a chance?
I mean, technically speaking, they do, but just the sentiment of the team right now is very low. But they still have some time. They just got to get through this tough schedule appearance right now. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
That's Nick Cretia over there. He is running the board and picking the tunes. You just heard Sully. Mike Seibert is filling in for producer David Burbank this morning. Kind of glad David isn't here either because
I think not be in a good way today.
This would be a bad thing. Tim Hole in for Luke Ducey, and Katrina Gishard is running the ship out at the news desk following the big stories.
And coming up at 7:15 this morning, are judges becoming America's most important policymakers? We'll ask former Washington Attorney General Rob McKenna.
And coming up, the biggest political spender in Washington state isn't who you think it is. Who it is, where the money starts, the paycheck, in the 735 commentary.
It's now 7:10. Bothell police are warning about a string of outgoing mail thefts and urging residents to be vigilant. KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has more.
Bothell police say they are not sure how the mail is being stolen, but they say thieves are stealing the checks and changing the payee's name on the check before cashing it. Aaron Roney with Bothell PD says until the thieves are caught, residents should scrutinize banking records closely and make banking changes to protect yourself.
Set up some bank alert, consider just using electronic payment options, and again, just confirming, those important payments are received.
If you suspect your mail was stolen, report it to your bank and call Bothell Police. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
State Patrol looking for a driver and passenger involved in a drive-by shooting in Issaquah yesterday morning. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Monique Minglava.
This was around 11 a.m. State Patrol says a driver called 911 saying they'd been shot at on westbound I-90. The victim says they first saw the suspect's car on Front Street, describing it as a dark gray Infiniti G37. Now, the shooting apparently happened after they got on I-90 between State Route 900 and the Westlake Sammamish Parkway exit. Police are now asking for your help, asking anyone who saw anything to reach out to police.
One more baseball note.
Yeah.
But it's a good one.
Yes.
Tacoma's Soundview Little League steps into the national spotlight today. The Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The 12-year-olds are the Northwest Region champs. Coach Don Huteson's son is on the team. He tells KIRO News Radio's Gian Ursula.
They're taking advantage of the situation. My son was playing ping pong with a Dominican Republic kid yesterday. He said that they're on the same lower level with South Korea and that they're having a great time with them and learning different handshakes.
That's awesome. Soundview faces the Southeast region today. First pitch at noon on ESPN.
At 7:12, we check weather now. We head over to KIRO 7 pinpoint meteorologist Nick Allard. At least the next couple days looking kind of nice, Nick.
Without a doubt, we're going to see some low clouds and some patchy fog this morning, and then sunshine, easily top it out in the upper 70s and lower 80s. Not much in the way of haze yet either. I have us at about 79 to 80 in Seattle. Tomorrow, it's just some low clouds again and getting up to about 81. Beautiful sunshine. But then Friday, clouds are going to increase. Even though you'll see the morning stuff, it will lift again, and at least start to. But then high clouds kick in all day. So not much sunshine Friday in the 70s. And what you'll find is a chance for some showers and thunderstorms in the Cascades that night and east of the Cascades. And then on Saturday, while we could all see a few showers or maybe a random isolated thunderstorm, there's an especially good chance in the Cascades and east of the Cascades, to the point where I'm probably going to cancel my camping plans because it's also going to be smoky east of the Cascades on Friday. So the bottom line is, I think it'll be an active night Friday, Saturday, east of the Cascades. In the mountains west, we could potentially see some showers and thunderstorms as well, and you'll be in the low 70s, be a little blustery. Sunday would also see a few showers here and there in the low 70s, but we do bounce back next week. So if you're doing anything east of the Cascades this weekend, you may want to consider a secondary option. I remember telling people that went to that concert a couple months ago, just have a way to go someplace at night, or a car you can sleep in if need be, because it could be a little active.
A little
Especially
active.
in Chelan.
Yeah. Hey, come on, man.
Especially where Charlie is.
Yeah. Do you want to, pinpoint exactly what campground and
Campsite
site?
112? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Appreciate it, Nick.
Sure.
Right now in Seattle, it's 58.
And time for a check on traffic again. Here's Sully.
And I'm looking for something on southbound 405 approaching 522 as you make your way down through Canyon Park towards Beardsley there by the UW Bothell campus. So we're really heavy all the way back now. It's an hour drive from Everett into Bellevue, also an hour from Everett into Seattle. So not exactly good driving there. We also have heavy brake lights right around the Boeing Freeway, and it's been really slow westbound across the Trestle today and then down 204 just trying to get there. Renton to Bellevue's up over a half an hour, but most of the slowing into South Bellevue has gone away after an early little issue there. But the S-curves are very slow. Behind that, the Valley Freeway, 50 minutes. We have heavy braking in Auburn and from 180th on in as you work your way into Renton, so not exactly a good drive there. Federal Way to Seattle's holding its own, but 50 minutes there. Most of Pierce County's looking really good. Olympia to Tacoma's only running around 35 minutes. 18 over Tiger Mountain, starting to see a little bit of braking. The Lake Bridges, though, are fine. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO News Radio.
Well, it's 7:15. Good morning. Are judges becoming America's most important policy makers? That's one of the questions we'll put to former Washington AG Rob McKenna this morning.
Why don't we do that right now? He joins us live. Good morning.
Good morning.
Rob, we wanted to start with the story of the Trump-Kennedy Center, now back to being the Kennedy Center, but the Trump administration is apparently not happy with the court's ruling there. Can you just kind of break this down for us?
Well, this is another example of, Trump trying to exert executive authority, in this case, over the Kennedy Center. It's, naming it, putting his name on it, and courts stepping in when someone files a lawsuit saying, no, you don't have the authority to do that. So we have another example of a fight between the judiciary and the executive branch in a world where both branches are, a lot more powerful, at least in many instances, than they were earlier in our own lifetimes. And that's because I think the legislative branch, which is supposed to be the most important branch of our government, it's why Congress is created in Article 1 of the Constitution. That branch has conceded a lot of power to the courts and to the executive, and I think that's a problem, considering that Congress was created in Article 1 because it's the closest branch of government to the people, served by elected officials who in the House have to stand for election every 2 years, as opposed to federal judges who are appointed for a lifetime, or presidents who serve for 4 or 8 years.
Has there always been a tug of war like this, or is what we're witnessing now unusual?
Well, from the earliest days of our nation, there was a struggle over how much power the executive branch should have relative to the legislative branch. I mean, this was the big fight between the Jeffersonians and the Federalists, for example. If you've seen Hamilton, you saw a musical about someone who really believed in a strong executive, and Jefferson and his allies were including James Madison, were very strongly opposed to that. But, over the first century and a half of our country's history, it was the legislative branch which really dominated, except during periods of war when, President Lincoln, for example, had obviously extraordinary authority. But after or during the Great Depression, we saw a massive expansion of federal executive power. And then in more recent decades, we've seen a series of presidents, Republicans and Democrats, steadily expand their authority, particularly when Congress hasn't taken action. And where the courts fit into all of that is that, Congress will pass broadly worded laws and leave it to the agencies, the executive branch, to implement regulations, which is why we have this huge administrative state now, and then leave the courts to figure out whether or not those regulations are appropriate or not. But all of this is to say that we've had, in our history, we have had struggles between the executive and legislative branch, and the judiciary was not nearly as powerful, obviously, in the early days of our country. In fact, until Marbury v. Madison in the early 1800s, it wasn't even clear that the Supreme Court could strike down federal statutes. That was a power that the Supreme Court found that it had, but was not explicitly given to it in the Constitution.
So if we have an executive branch that wants to exert its power and seem powerful, what if the executive, in this case being the White House, sees a court ruling it doesn't like and says, well, who's going to enforce it?
Well, they're not saying that now. The Trump administration, in reacting to 3 recent Supreme Court rulings on, the Federal Reserve governor he tried to fire, on tariffs, they're saying we are complying with the court. We are within its, the bounds. We respect the court's decisions. Another example is the birthright citizenship case, probably the most important case of the year, decided by the Supreme Court. That opinion affirmed that nearly everyone born in the United States is a citizen. People who are the children of diplomats serving at the United Nations or at an embassy would not be. But Trump has issued executive orders saying, well, there are other children who are ineligible for birthright citizenship if they're born to, quote, alien enemies, to foreign terrorists, foreign lobbyists, or people who fraudulently request tourist visas. The Supreme Court's opinion doesn't say that those people aren't eligible for birthright citizenship. But the administration is pushing the boundaries. And I think what this will result in is, in more court cases, they'll have to find someone who was born the child of a foreign lobbyist, for example, to bring the case to see whether or not they are, in fact, entitled to birthright citizenship. So the Trump administration is more aggressive. He's by no means the first president to push back on Supreme Court decisions. Remember that when the Supreme Court struck down Joe Biden's plan to forgive student loan debt, he announced a new plan within hours of that decision to forgive debt. But Trump is doing it more and evidently more aggressively. And that's partly because his actions have been challenged in the Supreme Court and struck down more than even in his own first term.
On a different topic, there's a new Ninth Circuit court ruling involving U.S. attorney appointments. It has direct ties to Seattle, of course, in the case involving Roger Rogoff. Can you sort out that ruling for us?
Yeah, and I should just disclose that I was asked by the chief judge of the district court to chair a committee to vet candidates for the U.S. attorney position. It has been vacant because the person selected by the administration to be U.S. attorney was never confirmed by the Senate. And under federal law, after 6 months, when there's a vacancy, the district court can appoint someone to fill that position. What the administration's been doing when courts around the country have taken that step is to immediately fire whoever the district court appoints. And there is authority in the law for the president to fire anyone in the executive branch. That is one of the Supreme Court's rulings this year. But here, the Ninth Circuit said, well, the administration's practice of bypassing Senate confirmation to install his choice as a U.S. attorney, basically by putting someone into the first assistant role, which doesn't require Senate confirmation, and having that person run the office, that is not allowed under the law. That the Ninth Circuit found that the Nevada U.S. attorney appointee was not lawfully appointed to the role of acting U.S. attorney. It's the second time a federal appeals court has made that kind of ruling. This time was interesting because the decision of the Ninth Circuit was authored by a judge who was nominated by Trump during his first term to the Ninth Circuit. He's a conservative, but he wrote, Judge Miller wrote, that the framers of the U.S. Constitution saw the Senate's advice and consent function as necessary to, quote, prevent the appointment of unfit characters. So he said you can't get around the appointment process by, creating a de facto U.S. attorney. That's what this court decision really comes down to.
Rob McKenna, former state AG, joins us every week on Seattle's Morning News. Hey, Rob, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Appreciate it. You too. It's 7:23, and that's time for a check on traffic. For that, here's Chris Sullivan.
Brake lights right where they should be. No surprises on this Wednesday morning. Going to start with the Renton S curves, which are crawling, but again, that's normal this time of day on a Wednesday. By the time you're up to about 44th, they thin out, and it's not as bad into South Bellevue as it was just a little bit ago, but 35 minutes on that drive from Renton to Bellevue, plus or minus, right where it should be. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is about 50, about normal. Pierce County, though, is quiet. There's just a little bit of yellow on the map on most of the roads there, other than some of the places where you have construction, like down near Spanaway. But looking at Olympia to Tacoma, we've got about a 35-minute trip for you. Federal Way to Seattle's back under 50 minutes. And coming down from the north end, we've got about an hour and 5-minute drive from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Brake lights right where they should be. And we're easing off a little bit in Marysville. Still have the slowing westbound across the trestle. But again, that just is volume. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Headed for a high of 79 with sunshine after the morning clouds burn off. Right now, it's 58 in Seattle.
And coming up, a man is dead after a shooting in Seattle's First Hill neighborhood. We'll get the details from KIRO News Radio's Tim Hull.
And in today's commentary, Brian Haywood gets called Washington's biggest political spender, but he's not even close. Who's actually number one and where their millions come from? 7:35 commentary coming up.
You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Has your junk drawer taken over the whole house? Closets jammed, garage packed, pantry a mess? Don't just live with it. John Curley here for Closets by Design. Organize your closets, garages, laundry rooms, and home offices with Closets by Design. Everything is custom built for how you actually live. For a limited time, get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving, so it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
With the experience of over 150,000 procedures, the doctors at K2 Vision will know which procedure is best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Summer is for letting it rip.
Swung on and missed, ripped it right by it. 7 scoreless innings. Marvelous Miller again.
Summer is for showing out.
Swing and a miss. Woo, 6 up and 6 down.
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Logan Gilbert, he's knocked down a dozen in a row.
So call your favorite Walter and head to T-Mobile Park because our pitchers are rolling. From George Kirby to Senor Smoke.
Up in the attic at 101. Nothing but the express tonight for Andres Munoz.
Matilda would be proud. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners are back in town at the end of the week. Don't miss out on 2 great interleague series at T-Mobile Park as the team squares off against the Chicago Cubs Friday through Sunday and the Philadelphia Phillies next week, August 24th to 26th. Get your tickets for these 2 marquee matchups today at mariners.com.
Keep summer outside where it belongs. Save $588 on every window and $1,088 on every door, plus free heat deflecting glass. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:30. A man is dead after a shooting inside a First Hill apartment.
And KIRO News Radio's Tim Hole has the latest. Tim?
Yeah, as of the latest update, no suspect in custody. Police say a 911 caller reported a man dead inside an apartment near 8th and Marion around 8 o'clock last night. Officers found the man with multiple gunshot wounds, tried life-saving measures until Seattle fire medics arrived and pronounced the man dead at the scene. He's reportedly about 25 years old. Police have not said what led up to the shooting or whether the shooter and victim knew each other. They're asking anyone with information to reach out.
Tim Hole reporting live. It's 7:31.
The recall effort against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is now headed to court. 2 KIRO 7 TV viewers filed the petition.
They say after 8 months into the job, they believe Wilson is, quote, derelict in her duties when it comes to public safety. So they outlined 5 key concerns in this, where they claim Wilson is fumbling on public safety, including the response to crime along Aurora Avenue, in the Chinatown International District, and on 3rd Avenue in Seattle's Belltown neighborhood. They also disagree with her point of view about turning off those CCTV cameras. Their tipping point, though, the fallout, the mass shooting at the Seattle Center. The recall says the forced resignation of the former SPD chief shows a lack of fiscal responsibility and creates chaos in the department.
A hearing set for Monday, August 31st, and that was KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
The family of a 27-year-old man who died while being restrained at a Federal Way hospital has filed a $50 million tort claim. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
The King County Medical Examiner ruled Davis's death at St. Francis Hospital a homicide and found he died of a heart attack, which was brought on by being restrained face down for 25 minutes. The medical examiner says he had injuries to his neck, head, face, and wrists. In the tort claim, the family attorney is calling for a criminal investigation into potential manslaughter charges. They say Federal Way police used unnecessary and unreasonable force. The family's attorney also says they're renewing calls for the immediate release of body camera video of that incident.
A woman is recovering after being chased by a bear in Whatcom County over the weekend. She was hiking with her dog late Saturday morning when the bear charged at her. Luckily, she was not attacked. Janae Ropel was riding her horse nearby and later found the hiker and her husband. Ropel tells KIRO 7 TV.
She was all cut up, and we were like, well, are you okay? And she said she was just startled, and we said, well, what happened? She said that the bear was coming up the hill, up the brush, and she was running down the mountain, down the service road, and it crossed paths with her.
Washington Fish and Wildlife says there haven't been any other reports of bear activity, but officers will keep an eye on that area.
TikTok is laying off 75 employees in Bellevue this fall. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, the cuts are part of an organizational restructuring at TikTok Shop, the company's e-commerce division. Layoffs expected to happen in October. TikTok previously cut 65 Bellevue jobs last year as the company says it adjusted its strategic priorities.
It's 7:33. That's time for a check on traffic once again. And for that, here's Chris Sullivan.
And we've added about 5 to 10 minutes to our drive coming out of Snohomish County, up to an hour and 10 now from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, with 50 of those minutes from Linwood. We'll also have braking past the Boeing Freeway as well. That's a little kind of annoying there past 112th. But then you have a really good drive on I-5 all the way down to you get to 145th. But boy, there you hit reality. I-405, it's from Linwood down through Bothell. And then after that, it's not bad the rest of the way down to Bellevue. Federal Way to Seattle getting over 50 minutes at this point as we're starting to see a lot more slowing off and on from Boeing Field all the way up past the West Seattle Bridge. Rented to Bellevue, 35 minutes there. The S-curves are very slow today, and it just kind of meanders under the speed limit till you get to Factoria. Both directions of I-90 a little slow at 405 as well. Lake Bridges, though, are in good shape. Valley Freeway, 50 minutes from end to end. Olympia to Tacoma's under 40, so that's great. 16 looks pretty decent. Eastbound over Tiger Mountain, though, really heavy today. I'm checking to see if they've started the landscaping work again. It was scheduled to begin about 7 a.m. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, another beautiful day. By afternoon, we'll see sunshine, 79 the high for today. The clouds will burn off. For tomorrow, pretty much the same, maybe a tad warmer. Friday, high clouds and 79. And then Saturday and Sunday, we do have a chance of showers in the forecast both days, cooling off to the low 70s. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 58.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
It's time for the 735 commentary. Right now, somewhere in Washington state, a home care worker is getting an elderly or disabled person out of bed, helping them with a shower, making breakfast. Kind of work most of us hope somebody kind and competent would do and will be there for us when us or our parents need it. These workers, they make about $22 to $25 an hour. These are hard jobs. The state has trouble keeping enough people in them. About 80,000 workers depend on this rate. This is a story about that paycheck. One union helps set the wage, collects dues from it, and spends more on Washington politics than anybody else in this state. Then it helps set the wage again. Today, we follow the money around the circle. Their union, SEIU 775, came to the table asking for a 12% raise over 2 years. The state came back offering a freeze. Whether that rate should go up or not is a fair fight, and the state is staring down a budget shortfall. It's having that fight. Well, I looked at who's sitting at the table deciding those raises. Washington sets home care pay through a 4-person board. The governor's office gets a seat. The Department of Social and Health Services gets a seat. The company that employs the caregivers gets a seat. And the workers' bargaining representative gets a seat. And that is SEIU 775. The union asking for the raise gets a vote on the raise. Picture a seat on the committee that sets your pay. You'd take it. I'd take it. SEIU has it. Now, you've heard Brian Haywood and his Let's Go Washington initiative campaigns. A lot of people think he's the biggest political spender in the state. He's not even close. In 2024, SEIU 775 and its branches laid out close to $18 million on campaigns. The Washington State Standard called them by far the largest donor of the cycle. In 1 week, the union dropped $4 million into a single ballot fight that year. They outspent Haywood. They outspent everybody. Dues run 3.2% of a home care worker's pay. So you collect that from tens of thousands of caregivers month after month, and you can fund the loudest voice in Olympia, one that backs candidates heavily toward Democrats with a few Republicans. Well, the union is open about that loop. After the 2022 rate passed, it reminded members that lawmakers still had to fund it and that they should elect legislators who back caregivers. Win the rate, elect the people who pay for it. Round and round we go. There's more. In 2019, SEIU was one of the forces behind WA Cares, the state's long-term care program funded by a payroll tax of 58 cents on every $100 you earn. The benefit went live earlier this year. People can spend it on care, including paying a caregiver. The union also runs the state-required training those caregivers have to take, paid out at the same rate. So the union helped pass a tax that grows a publicly funded market for the work its members do. Plenty of groups play this game. Businesses do it. Trial lawyers do it. Teachers unions do it. SEIU 775 is just better at it than anyone else in the state. None of this is a scandal. Every piece of it is legal, disclosed, and done in the open. But stand back and look at the whole thing. One organization sits on nearly every side of it. The vote that sets the rate, the contract that divides it, the dues that come off the paycheck, the biggest political budget in Olympia, and the tax that feeds still more public money into the same work. Caregivers deserve a fair wage. The union has every right to fight for one, and the rest of us footing the bill are at least allowed to notice how neatly it all connects. Public money funds the paycheck, the caregiver earns it, some become dues, the union spends it on Olympia, and Olympia sets the rate all over again. It's a long trip for a paycheck. And that's the 735 commentary for Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. You can text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Our chat is on YouTube Live at KIRO Newsradio. You can always leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:39. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the breaking away from Linwood, especially on 405. We'll talk about it next.
KIRO Newsradio is honored to bring home one of the nation's top awards in our industry, the prestigious National Edward R. Murrow Award for breaking news coverage. One award is the result of our team's hard work every single day, and none of it would be possible without you. You trust us with important information every time you choose us. Whether you listen over the air, on the KIRO Newsradio app, or you watch us on YouTube, thank you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, I know something you probably haven't done in a while. Climb into your crawl space or your attic. Yeah, me neither. Mike Salk here. And most homeowners avoid those areas for good reason, but it's important to check on them regularly, especially here in the Northwest where groundwater can wreak havoc and many homes lack the proper insulation in these spaces. So when it's hot in the summer, your house gets even hotter. And guess what? When it's cold in the winter, your house gets even colder because you don't have enough insulation. The good news, you don't have to crawl into those dingy areas because Crawl Pros will do it. They go where you don't want to. That's what they did at my house. They found a little rodent intrusion and they found the insulation problem. So yeah, they can help you get it all fixed just like they did with me. And if you need any work done, local utility companies offer rebates that could save you thousands on your project. Don't just assume that your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
7:43 now. We check traffic on the 3s with Sully.
And no real surprises, Charlie, as we work our way around today. The brake lights right where they should be, and they're as heavy as they normally are on a Wednesday. For those of you on 405, it's going to be bumper to bumper away from Linwood all the way down through Bothell and kind of now meandering south of Totem Lake into the Kirkland area. Overall, about an hour and 15 minutes now from Everett to Bellevue. A matching hour and 15, close to an hour and 20 from Everett to Seattle, which if you don't drive this very often, you're like, what are you talking about? I'm cruising at freeway speed through Linwood and Edmonds and Shoreline. But boy, you hit 145th and that's, you hit the buzzsaw and you're on it all the way the rest of the way into Seattle. Lake bridges are still good. Northbound I-5 is pretty heavy from the middle of Boeing Field, but not overly so. Hour drive from Federal Way to Seattle, also braking at 320th. Looking at the Valley Freeway, over 50 minutes now from Puyallup up to Renton. You have the weaving and merging in Auburn. Then not too bad of a drive up through Kent. And then from 180th on in is relatively normal. About 40 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. Most of the heaviest stuff there is right in the S-curves, right where it should be. Olympia to Tacoma is not bad. A little South Tacoma slowing, a little eastbound slowing on 16. And our good friend Josiah out there can confirm, again, out in his truck, letting us know that landscaping work is back. They're on eastbound 18 down the east slope of Tiger Mountain. Right lane is blocked for that work. They're going to be doing that till about 3 o'clock today and probably through the rest of the week at this time. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, morning clouds again, but we'll see sunshine by afternoon, 79 the high for today. Morning clouds again tomorrow, maybe a tad warmer in the afternoon, 81, and then Friday. Some more high clouds will roll in just before we see some showers on Saturday and possibly Sunday too. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 58.
Coming up, there are new developments in a case of an ICE agent accused of a Minnesota shooting. We'll talk about it with News Nation's Xavier Walton coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Well, for years, women were told the same thing about feeling off, the low energy, the mood swings, the weight gain. Well, I recently had a chat with board-certified physician Dr. Lucy Hostetter from Juvacor Health and Wellness Center. And she told me the change happened to her too, of course, like it does to all of us. And every physician she went to said, quote, you just have to live with it. Well, she found that unacceptable. So she started doing research, and it led her down the path of hormones. Today, Dr. Hostetter and her team at Juvacor Health and Wellness Center use bioidentical hormone therapy customized to your body to bring back the you that's been missing. Nobody has to jump full bore into hormones, she tells me. We can take a stepwise approach there at Juvacor. She's looking at your individual labs, your individual goals, and you can take it as slow or as fast as you want. For more information, you're going to love Dr. Lucy, by the way. For more information, just call Juvacor Health and Wellness Center in Tacoma or their original location, Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center in Bellevue. Or check out their website, juvacorhealth.com. That's Juve corehealth.com, and feel like yourself again.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Your old water heater's starting to peter.
DayandNight.net. Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater.
KIRO.net.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
7:47 now. A legal battle between two states is escalating over a shooting case involving an ICE agent.
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison suing Texas in an effort to force the extradition of an ICE agent to stand trial. Let's get the latest from News Nation's Xavier Walton. Can you sort this out for us? What is Minnesota alleging?
Well, let me be very clear here. If I could sort it out better than the Attorney General Keith Ellison of Minnesota and Texas Governor Greg Abbott, I don't know if I would still be a reporter. So bear with me as we try to sort out that news. But it is back and forth. And basically the clock is running out when it comes to this ICE agent who is trying to be extradited, who they are trying to have extradited back into, the state of Minnesota. So we're talking about Christian Castro. He's charged with 4 counts of second-degree assault, 1 count of falsely reporting a crime. So the charges are there, and this all happened during Operation Metro Surge, which is why Attorney General or AG Ellison, Keith Ellison, out of Minnesota, is trying to get him back over state lines. Only he's not. He's having some problems. Which, to be fair, these two states have butted heads quite on the opposite sides of the spectrum in all ways and shapes and form.
Xavier, this is not the case of the ICE agents actually shooting and killing people?
No, that obviously was a little more, I want to say, high profile. This was a totally different case, but during the same operation, during Metro Surge, this also happened. And this is one of those things, unfortunately, as I've kind of covered out there, I was out there in Minnesota when all this was playing out. It sort of gets swept under the rug because it didn't have I don't want to say as high profile. The protest didn't follow and that sort of thing. It wasn't covered as heavily by the news outlets. But nonetheless, Minnesota is saying, hey, we have until this date to get him back. Otherwise, this guy just walks. And that's why they're trying to get him extradited back to the state.
So is Texas saying more than, hey, we don't like Minnesota sometimes? What's their reasoning?
Well, that's where there's a gray area. It has nothing to do with that. It's more so I don't want to speak for the state of Texas because that is not me. But I am trying to figure out where, Governor Greg Abbott can basically ignore from another state. And this is where the legal back and forth really is confusing and why I'm still a journalist, not an attorney. But how Greg Abbott can continue to keep, this gentleman here, this ICE agent here in the state of Texas, when, you've got the AG of another state trying to bring him over, extradite him back to his state and face these charges. Either way, the time is running out. Time is ticking on both sides, so we'll know soon what actually is going to happen.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that deadline. That's News Nation's Xavier Walton joining us live. Xavier, thank you. It's 7:51.
Well, look out below. Boulders threatening Swiss towns as permafrost thaws.
Climate change has the potential to do lots of things. It can dry out riverbeds. It can warm the oceans, which can lead to even stronger storms and hurricanes. But can it also smash your town with rocks? Meet the very worried residents of Kandersteg, Switzerland. Kandersteg is one of the most beautiful villages you will ever come across. It's in the Swiss Alps, right near a blue lake, nestled at the foot of dramatic mountain peaks. Up above the 1,300 residents are cows casually patrolling the hillsides. And yet, even further up lurks something far more ominous. A mountain rock formation that is held together entirely by permafrost. That's soil and sediment that has remained frozen for centuries. You probably wouldn't know it was permafrost if you looked at it. Trees can grow out of it. Stones are wedged into it. It's like concrete, if concrete could melt back into liquid.
The warm temperatures, they do not only melt glaciers, they also help to thaw permafrost.
That's Marcus Stoffel, professor for climate change and natural risks at the University of Geneva. He told the Associated Press that if the permafrost melts, catastrophe follows.
In the mountains and in the unconsolidated debris, there is lots of ice, and once that this ice is melting, it acts like a cement. these mountain slopes will become increasingly unstable.
This entire slope, called the Spitze Steig, could break off and would likely end up blanketing the town. This is not the first time a landslide could wipe out an entire city. In fact, just last year, the Swiss town of Blatten was almost entirely demolished when a glacier collapsed. Nathan Solothurnman, a climate and energy expert for Greenpeace Switzerland, says it might not be the last either.
Maybe one day we even have to abandon certain valleys, certain villages, because it's becoming impossible to live there.
Residents of Kandersteg say they're nervous but confident in the plans laid out by town authorities. That rock is under constant surveillance. Evacuation routes have been established.
You are aware it's happening, but not afraid. And they try to do all the precautions what they could do. But still then, it's nature.
But all of this adds up to a much bigger modern conundrum. Entire towns, entire cities have been built on and under what looked like solid ground. But those assumptions, much like the mountains themselves, might not be as solid as you'd expect.
7:53 now. We check traffic every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And in that last 10 minutes, we've added 10 more minutes. See what I did there? For the I-5 and 405 drives coming down from the Linwood area. We're up to an hour now to Seattle or to Bellevue, with an hour and 20 all the way from Everett. So we are just grinding our way. But again, that's become normal with the Revive I-5 work. And so we've got that for us for the rest of the year, which is nice. Looking at Federal Way to Seattle, it's not terrible up through the Kent Des Moines Road. The show really begins right as you get past the beginnings of Boeing Field, off and on, up to the Michigan Curve, towards the West Seattle Bridge, and then just a little bit past I-90. 52 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, about 55 from Puyallup to Renton. It's slow in Auburn, but it looks really good from Puyallup all the way up to Auburn, and then it's not as bad out of Kent until you get up to about 180. We have added a couple more minutes, though, on northbound I-405 as we see the brake lights north of 40th up through the South Bellevue area, up over 40 now from Renton to Bellevue. Lake bridges, though, are still in good shape. Both directions of 90, though, are slow as you get to the 405 corridor. Eastbound 18, really heavy from the western slope of Tiger Mountain all the way to the other side. Right lane remains blocked for landscaping work as you get down towards the raging river. Olympia to Tacoma is not too bad at all. 16 looking really good from Port Orchard to Tacoma. Highway 3 with no issues there either. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Starting to see some sun breaks again. It's going to be a nice sunny afternoon. 79 the high for today. 81 tomorrow. Same pattern. Clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon. Friday looks like we'll see more in the way of high clouds. Still nice. And then Saturday and Sunday, we do have a chance of showers both days, with highs back to the low 70s. Right now, a little bit of sunshine. It's 58 in Seattle.
Coming up, will a recall campaign against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson move forward? A federal judge will make that a state judge. Will weigh in later this month. We'll explain the next step in the process with KIRO News Radio's Tim Holt.
You're listening to Seattle's Morning News here on KIRO News Radio.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details, on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different.
TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
I'm driving a 2026 Subaru Forester Touring Hybrid from Carter Subaru, and this car has made me a hybrid believer. I love the 360-degree camera. Of course, using less gas certainly doesn't hurt. Right now, get a 2026 Subaru Outback for 0.9% APR during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 8/31/26.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we make protecting your home simple and affordable. With flexible financing and 20-plus years of trusted service, you can count on lasting quality from Guardian. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. As the long primary season nears its end, Democratic voters have propelled another progressive. Senate candidate Angie Nixon, a Democratic socialist, defeating Alex Vindman, a moderate former national security expert who had the backing of the Democratic Party. That's for the Florida Senate seat. Republican Byron Donalds could become the Florida's first black governor. He won his primary with the backing of President Trump. Meta on trial in California, accused of luring kids onto its social media platforms.
During opening statements, the Deputy Attorney General for the California Department of Justice said they plan to show jurors a study conducted by Meta that was titled "The Young Ones Are the Best Ones," accusing the company of exploiting the vulnerabilities of its youngest users to encourage compulsive use.
ABC's Kana Whitworth. President Trump says he's delaying the 50% tariffs on $20 billion worth of Canadian goods, everything from booze to clothing, after a last-minute deal was reached hours before the sanctions were set to go into effect. This is ABC News. The next battle in the separation of church and state, the 10 Commandments, which have been ordered to be placed on all classroom walls in the state of Texas in public schools. ABC's Jim Ryan says there's a court case now underway over it.
Supporters of classroom displays of the 10 Commandments say it's not about proselytizing non-Christians. Instead, says Alabama State Representative Mark Gidley,
this is about returning a foundational principle to our schools.
While opponents insist
no school district should be posting them.
Attorney Chloe Kemp is with the ACLU, which has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to consider the constitutionality of the Texas law that requires the posting of the 10 Commandments in every public schoolroom in the state. Jim Ryan, ABC News in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The battle over the name and the facility itself in the news once again. The Kennedy Center has now told a federal court it will not attempt to return Donald Trump's name to the building's facade until at least September 8th, as another legal battle over the center's future takes shape. I'm Sherry Preston. ABC News.
At 8:02, here's what's happening.
Homicide detectives in Seattle working a deadly shooting at a First Hill apartment from last night.
Amtrak expects full service between Seattle and Portland back by tomorrow after weeks of disruptions.
Mariners fell to the Brewers 22-0 last night. That is the worst defeat in franchise history.
And 51-year-old Mary Singer has become the first person to swim all the way around Vashon Island, 32 miles in just over 15 hours.
How about that? Just about 8:03, and that's time for a check on traffic. For that, here's Chris Sullivan.
And we've got a new problem to tell you about. I got a new crash on southbound 405, a counter commute. This one's from the Renton area, Bellevue down into Renton. It's kind of by the VMAC. The right lane is blocked, so we're starting to back up out of Factoria down to the scene. So give yourself an extra 5 or 6 minutes trying to get down into Renton. Going the other direction, we're up over 40 from Renton to Bellevue. Those S-curves are very slow, plus we're seeing the stuff over the top of I-90, so that corridor is not great. Looking at northbound the northbound 167 corridor, not that bad, really. I mean, we're looking at 50 minutes to go from end to end. That's about normal. Federal Way to Seattle is under an hour, but we're getting closer. We have brake lights from the beginning of Boeing Field now past the West Seattle Bridge. Coming down from the north end, the typical grind for you guys, we've got about an hour and 20-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. The lake bridges are fine. Struggling over Tiger Mountain, the right lane remains blocked on the east slope as they're doing landscaping work from now until just before the afternoon commute. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. You can text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App, listen to your favorite shows, get the latest news and updates sent right to your phone.
8:03 on the Wednesday, August 19th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
A court date is now set in the effort to recall Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson.
KIRO News Radio's Tim Hole is live with the details and what happens next.
Yeah, that hearing is set for 9 a.m. Monday, August 31st inside the King County Courthouse. The petition filed last week by Seattle residents Melinda Jacobson and her husband, Dale Osterrud.
When she first started, I thought she deserved the benefit of a doubt. But my big thing is public safety and how she's failed this city miserably in that regard.
Jacobson talking with KIRO News Radio last week shortly after filing the petition. She and her husband accused Wilson of falling short on public safety, pointing to problems along Aurora Avenue, the CID, Belltown, and 3rd Avenue. It also takes issue with Wilson's use of CCTV cameras and the departure of Police Chief Sean Barnes.
And in talking to other like-minded people, I decided, if somebody doesn't do this, I have to do it. And I found out that nobody had started doing it, so I stepped up to the plate.
So now it's up to a judge to decide whether those allegations legally qualify for a recall. King County Prosecutor's Office has completed its technical review. Wilson's office has already pushed back. It said last week the recall effort, quote, does not appear to have merit, unquote. We've reached out again this morning for an updated response. And even if the judge gives the recall the green light, it would still have a long way to go. And the ruling could be appealed to the state Supreme Court. If the petition ultimately moves forward, supporters would need roughly 70,000 valid signatures before the recall effort would make it to the ballot.
Tim Hole reporting live. It's 8:05.
More details on the deadly shooting in First Hill. Officers responded to an apartment in the 900 block of 8th Avenue about 8 o'clock last night. They found a man with suspected gunshot wounds and attempted life-saving measures. Seattle fire medics later pronounced him dead there. Homicide detectives are investigating.
A teenager involved in last week's shooting at an undercover police officers in Seattle appeared in front of a judge yesterday. KIRO 7 TV's Jack Bill Yu reports the 17-year-old boy is accused of being the getaway driver.
Seattle police say the teen and 2 others were in a stolen car spotted driving around South Seattle. Investigators say they followed the car, then the 2 other suspects got out and fired at the officers. The car then took off and eventually crashed. A judge found probable cause for the case to move forward and ruled that this teen should remain in custody.
Due back in court Friday, faces multiple charges, including felony hit and run. Prosecutors say the boy was already wanted for a series of armed robberies when he was arrested.
The Seattle Center shooting is prompting a new push to crack down on juvenile gun possession, as we hear from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
South King County State Representative David Hackney wants juvenile gun offenders pushed into the criminal justice system after just 2 gun cases instead of waiting for violence to erupt. Hackney says the Seattle Center suspect that died in the shooting had a prior gun arrest as a juvenile but faced no real consequences.
Nothing happened. He went back home, picked up another gun, and now we got 3 people dead.
Hackney says getting young gun offenders into the system sooner means they get more of the help they need. Right now, Washington juveniles can be diverted 4 times for gun possession before facing criminal charges on the 5th. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Can't sugarcoat this one.
Ground ball to third base. That should do it. Hamilton steps on third. This one over. All Brewers tonight. 22-0 the final. Brewers take game 1 of this series.
Yep. Worst loss for the Mariners in franchise history. Also ties a modern-era Major League record for the biggest shutout. The Brewers had 4 home runs to completely dismantle the Mariners early. Things got so bad, Seattle eventually put an infielder on the pitcher's mound. Leo Rivas gave up 9 runs in the 8th inning alone.
Even Julio gave up.
So if you didn't watch the game or you haven't seen the highlights on online.
I'm glad I didn't have time to watch yesterday.
I didn't. That was a generous usage of the word highlight because there's one out. Julio catches a pop fly in the 8th and takes that fly ball and he throws it into the stands.
Thinking the game was over.
It's a live ball.
One out.
Not
even. Yeah.
Not even.
So the Mariners play again tonight. It's 8:08.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
I was waiting for it. I knew that was coming.
We lost one of the good ones yesterday. Frank Beard from ZZ Top died at age 77. One of the driving forces behind that band. They were all over MTV in the 80s.
So many good memories.
That was a time when you could have a band like ZZ Top right after Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and you could take a small fringe, hard kind of blues band from Texas and have them explode across the world because they just embraced the video.
Sure.
And went after it outrageously. It was awesome.
And of course, that was always the funny part. Frank Beard was the guy without a beard.
The beard.
The other 2 had the ginormous.
Only Billy is left.
Yeah. I guess they're going to be continuing the tour in just a few days.
Oh,
so.
Really?
They didn't take long when Dusty died, too, the bass player. Yeah. And I mean, they took like 2 or 3 days off and then went right after it.
All right.
Sad.
We have a busy hour in front of us here in the 8 a.m. hour on Seattle's Morning News. We have meteorologist Scott Sistek. He's talking about this Godzilla El Nino on the way.
Wasn't it a super El Nino before? Now it's Godzilla El Nino?
Scott, normally he's very cautious. Even he's like, this might be a thing.
Okay. Anything that gets us to play some Blue Oyster Cult, Nick. See if we can. I mean, let's go. Let's go. We need something after last night's Mariners game. Let's go.
All right. Also coming up, 3 out of 4 Seattle voters, we told you, say they support public safety cameras. Is the city listening? G. Scott has some thoughts, and he'll join us at 8:46 or so.
8:10 now in Snohomish County. Highway 99 could undergo a huge transformation. The state DOT plan covers nearly 7 miles from Linwood toward Everett and could cost up to $800 million. Proposed improvements include bike lanes, better lighting, sidewalks, safer pedestrian crossings. WashDOT's Eric Zekula tells KIRO 7 TV public input will help.
From the people who use the stretch of roadway and who live in the community, they're the ones who will help us prioritize the improvements, and so it's really important for everybody's voice to be heard.
And that online open house closes today.
Drivers in Edmonds are about to face round-the-clock enforcement in school zones. The Everett Herald reports the City Council has approved operating 5 speed cameras at 4 schools, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The cameras previously operated only during school hours. Drivers going 7 miles an hour or more over the limit can get a $144 ticket.
Group of 12-year-olds from Tacoma on the national stage. They are representing the Northwest in the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Dan Huteson's 12-year-old son is on the squad. He spoke to KIRO News Radio's G and Ursula. Says a lot of the boys have played together for the last 4 years.
These guys have just gelled together for the last few years and have really made an asserted effort to be able to make this their goal. And to be able to have such a lofty goal and then actually be here is unreal.
And the boys from Soundview Little League begin their tournament today, playing the team from the Southeast region. The first pitch is at noon on ESPN.
Go Soundview.
Yeah.
That is exciting, isn't it? It's 8:12, and that's time for a check on the weather. For that, here's KIRO 7's Nick Allard.
Low clouds and a little patchy fog this morning, but then we clear out for some beautiful sunshine, and we do the same thing tomorrow. Today, we're right around 80. Tomorrow, right around the low 80s, so it looks really nice. Then on Friday, as we're starting to clear, we're going to see some increasing areas of high cloud. So I just don't see much potential there where we're going to see much sunshine. You'll still be in the upper 70s. And then I expect to see some changes. There could be some thunderstorms overnight into Saturday in the Cascades and east of the Cascades. And then we all could see a few showers or maybe even an isolated thunderstorm on Saturday, especially in the mountains and east. So if you're camping this weekend, it's not the best weekend for that. Be a little breezy east of the Cascades as well. And then Sunday, we could all still see a few showers in the low 70s with warmer and drier weather to start next week.
We have some sunshine in Seattle right now, and it is 59 degrees.
At 8:13, we check traffic on the threes every 10 minutes with Chris Sullivan.
And you need to add about 10 more minutes to your drive on southbound 405 because of this crash we have getting through Factoria down into the VMAC area. The right lane is blocked and maybe a second lane as more emergency vehicles are showing up. So from Bellevue down to Renton's getting closer to a half an hour, about a 15-minute delay. Just north of that, we've added a new crash on southbound 405 right at Northeast 8th in Bellevue. So we went from a pretty good drive from Kirkland into downtown Bellevue to now that being really hammered. Give yourself about an hour and a half now to go from Everett into Bellevue, behind schedule by about 20 minutes. So southbound 405 is not doing really well from Bellevue south. Looking at northbound 405, we've got about a 40-minute trip for you. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is running about 50, just over 50 from Federal Way to Seattle because of the heavy brake lights from the beginnings of Boeing Field. Lake bridges are fine. We're looking at about an hour and 20 from Everett to Seattle, so a standard day for you guys. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup during the Subaru Lot to Love event going on now through August 31st. Enjoy great financing on select new cars at Subaru of Puyallup. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
On Wednesdays, we speak with Scott Sistek, the meteorologist and founder of the Emerald City Weather blog, emeraldcityweather.com. There's increasing confidence in what we're calling a super El Nino. I think you've referred to it as super duper El Nino, among other things. What are we looking at? Is this going to be historic?
It looks very much like historic. I know a lot of people have seen a lot of hyperbole around this, and at least as far as like the numbers and the data go, the hyperbole is warranted. We're already at just about a strong El Nino now, and we're not looking at a peak until like October, November. So we've still got months for this thing to ramp up. And I was thinking about a good analogy of this is like, think back when we had that really record hot day in 2021, and we had 108 in Seattle, and how our minds were blown by that. The metaphor I think is, let's say it's 101 degrees in Seattle, and you're like, wow, that's a record, but it's only 9 a.m. And so you're kind of thinking of the potential like, wow, we're already this hot. How hot are we going to go when we get to the peak of the day? So it's not like it's going to be 101 during the El Nino, but just kind of like a metaphor. It's already very warm in the ocean out there, and there's so much more potential for it to go even higher. And all of our charts, every single model we have is saying it's going to be strong. I think NOAA said a 90% chance it's going to be like on the upper chart, and a 70% chance it's going to be like an all-time record. And I think it may not just be an all-time record. I think we're going to go well past the all-time record, and that's what's getting our attention. Is we're really heading into uncharted territory here.
What are some of the implications of that?
So there's two. Well, if you look at like what I call the script of El Nino, like if you look at, El Ninos come through here every 3 to 7 years. And typically it's sort of like it's a mild winter. We don't get a lot of mountain snow. We don't get hardly any lowland snow. And it's usually ends up a little drier than average. So it's not a very exciting winter. Actually, kind of like our last winter is kind of what I would say is a normal El Nino, even though it wasn't. But that's kind of the playbook we would go by if we were just looking at a normal El Nino. But since this one's going so far off the chart, my idea is we're kind of like flying blind here. Like we can kind of look at our past script. We really don't have a script to go off for this. It's sort of like we can read half the script. We know what's going on now, but this is really going into places that nobody's really seen before or has data for. So I think everybody's kind of like the meteorologists are kind of on edge because we really don't have a good, knowledge base of what this has done in the past, if this has ever happened.
What are a couple of scenarios if you were to play this out?
I had a few on there. Now, these were not forecaster or these are expectations. These are things that have happened in our climate that have been kind of the upper end that might happen when things are kind of going crazy. And so one of them is, Seattle hasn't had a day over 4 inches of rain in a year once. We've had once before. So I'm thinking most of the rain in the El Nino year is expected to go into California. Like they're looking at, their managers down there are very worried about a lot of flooding rains and really big atmospheric rivers. And not just, potent atmospheric rivers, really, really big atmospheric rivers. So I could see one of those, even if most of the storms go down there, not all of them. And if any of the pattern shifts and it moves one up here, a couple up here, we could get some really flooding, storms here. So I'm thinking if we do get a flooding storm, maybe a pretty good one, even if it's rare for the winter. I don't think we're going to see a lot of snow. I presented one kind of complex scenario, if it gets really warm in Alaska, something warmth goes there, that can sometimes push Arctic air our way briefly, for a couple of days. And it's okay, put that with some of these warm storms, and now you get kind of like a 1996 snow. For those of you who were here 30 years ago, remember that December 96 where it snowed 1.5 feet and then rained on top of it. I could see, not connect to the Northwest, I could see maybe, California getting hit with a lot more tropical remnants because the Pacific hurricane season is already very active and just going to get revved up even more. We've already seen what happened with Hawaii last week. So I could see maybe California getting a brush with a Southern California, maybe a tropical storm if all things go well. But again, this is just this is me throwing darts here. I'm not predicting this is going to happen. But these are just some of the things that they're not unheard of. They're just rare. But when you start messing, putting really big kinks in the atmosphere like this, you start looking at what kind of extreme weather could happen.
So if I'm hearing you right, this is so extreme, it's impossible to predict, and that is making you a little nervous.
Yes. It's we have a script, but it may not be a very accurate script because we can't, most of the time we look at a weather pattern, it's we can look back in history and say, okay, we've seen this before. It may not follow the script. It may, curveballs and whatnot, but we have a general idea. And I think we still kind of have a general idea. It's just that we don't have research of what happens when the ocean temperatures are this warm in the tropical Pacific. We know when they've kind of been this warm. We know where they've been 2/3 to 3/4 this warm. But what happens when they go, what's going to happen when we get to October, November, and December when we're hitting the peak, and what kind of effects will it have on the atmosphere?
So what you're saying, though, is we're 6-8 weeks out from actually seeing what this may mean.
Yeah, and maybe again, October, November, somewhere in there. But that's when we're looking at the peak. But yeah, it's already starting. The numbers are already in a strong El Nino. Numbers we've been in before, but we're already okay, it's only August. These are the numbers we could expect. In our record El Ninos that we've kind of compared this to, we hit those numbers in November, December. And we're not far from those numbers now. So we're thinking, this is my analogy of it's really hot and it's only 10 in the morning. We still have time to go hotter. And so I think that's kind of what we're looking at. What I do want to say is I know some scenario, people on social media that will paint these ridiculous climate, scenarios, nothing like that. This isn't going to be day after tomorrow. We're not going to have polar bears in New York City or anything like that. So don't believe the extreme stuff. I think it's just that when you look at, the history of climate or the history of storms that we've had and extreme weather, it's you start thinking that there may be more odds for extreme weather in more places. And what that extreme weather is probably something we've been through before. It's just, something that's probably rare. So we'll probably have more upper end flooding events around the world. We'll have more, tropical events in the Pacific. Hawaii may have to face more chances because that Pacific Ocean is going to be a mess or going to be very revved up. So those are the things we're looking out for, is just really on guard this winter. But I think for the Northwest, we're probably in one of the places that traditionally won't get a lot. We kind of be on the sidelines, and it's more for us. It's what's not happening this winter. It's not snowing in the mountains. It's not snowing down here. we're not getting our precipitation. So I think that's more what we're angled for, not so much the dangerous weather as far as like extreme weather as like the lack of weather.
A careful listener will note Scott said polar bears not happening in New York City. Scott did not rule out polar bears in Seattle due to this El Nino. So I guess we'll have to leave it there, Scott.
1% chance. No.
Scott Sistek, meteorologist. We will, of course, continue to follow this throughout the fall and winter. EmeraldCityWeather.com. Scott, thanks for the time today.
Sure thing.
Sounds interesting.
What strikes me is Scott was unable to say what might happen because it's just so unprecedented that it could be anything. But when you read online about this El Nino, I mean, there are some serious concerns for parts of this country.
We'll see what happens.
Let's hope nothing too bad. Time to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we've just taken several punches to the face here in the last 10 minutes. Here's the info I have on this new crash southbound 405 right as you get into downtown Bellevue. Both of the express toll lanes, the left lane and the one that becomes the exit only to Northeast 6th, are blocked for this crash. Cars are strewn across the road here. In a moment, they're probably going to have to block the left general purpose lane as well. We've added about 15 minutes to our drive. It's an hour and 40 minutes plus to go from Everett into Bellevue, with an hour and 20 to an hour and 25 of that away from Linwood. So we're talking at 30-minute delays to go down the I-405 corridor at this point. A little bit further to the south, we have a 20-minute delay from Bellevue down into Renton because of this crash right there at the VMAC at 44th and Renton. Only the HOV lane is getting by. The two right lanes are blocked for this crash. Going the other direction, there's a looky-loo slowdown as well, so we're getting closer to 50 minutes to go from Federal Way to Seattle. That's about 25 minutes slower than it should be. Good news, the Valley Freeway behind that back under 45 minutes, which is great. Northbound I-5, we've been struggling getting into the heart of downtown because of a crash in the left lane at Seneca, so that's still causing us some very heavy braking, well over an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. Everett to Seattle is running about an hour and 20. That's its normal self. Lake bridges are fine, so we are in bad shape on the east side. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
High of 79 today with afternoon sunshine. Right now, it's 60 downtown.
And coming up, more of the day's top stories, including what happened inside a First Hill apartment last night. Tim Hull will have details on the place where one man was found dead. Also, authorities say a cocaine trafficking operation involving Penn State students and frat houses went far beyond typical college misconduct. Details from ABC's Brad Mielke coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Never great when your morning falls apart, your closet doesn't work, your pantry's jammed, the garage is useless. Most homes just weren't designed for real life. We're here for Closets by Design, not just closets, garages, pantries, laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, all custom built in Kent. And it is finally a place to get your place organized. A limited time, 40% off, plus an additional 15% off and 18 months, 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com. Call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we're always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
At Madrona Financial and CPAs, we believe there are 7 steps that must be taken in preparation for a successful retirement. Retirement needs more than just a basic income plan. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Jonathan here from DUI Heroes, and if you're pulled over for a DUI, you can ask to speak with a lawyer immediately. We're available to you at DUIHeroes.com and 1-800-DUI-HERO 24 hours a day. If the officer doesn't get you in touch with us right away, you're still preserving the right and asking him to contact us as soon as he possibly can. The sooner you call a lawyer, the better your chances are. Look us up at DUIHeroes.com for a free case evaluation or call us at 1-800-DUI-HERO.
DUI Heroes, your DUI defense specialist.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Are you looking to buy a house, but like everyone, you're priced out of the Bellevue, Kirkland, and Seattle market? Many buyers have the income, the credit, and the desire to own, but simply don't have the down payment, often at least $75,000 just for a starter home. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue with a great opportunity for home buyers. Introducing our Legacy Opportunity Loan. Legacy Group Capital has a select group of 100 new construction, single-family, and townhomes in the top Western Washington locations. Acquire a new construction home with no down payment, allowable closing costs paid, and a competitive rate. Yes, that's no down payment and some closing costs paid by Legacy. A wise man once said, the hardest part of winning in real estate is just getting in. And now you can with our Legacy Opportunity Loan. So get in the game.
Limited properties available to qualified Washington borrowers. Learn more about this limited opportunity at LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, LLC at MLS ID 99045. Visit LegacyG.com for additional program details.
Holy smokes, I can see. Hey everybody, it's Rick Riz, and I just had refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision, and it's amazing. K2 Vision RLE means no more readers or glasses for me. Plus, I'll never get a cataract. Now, when I call a game, you won't see those readers dangling from the end of my nose to see the field and then my notes. I only wish I had done it sooner. It's like seeing a whole new ball game. K2 Vision RLE was quick and painless, over in just minutes, and I knew I was in great hands. The K2 Vision RLE team has done over 150,000 lens procedures. You can trust their stuff. K2 Vision RLE is my permanent solution to a lifetime of great vision. It could be yours too. Enjoy life's good years without readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Get your free Zoom consult now at K2VisionRLE.com. Then you can make the same call I did. Goodbye, glasses. K2VisionRLE.com.
Jazz Alley invites you to experience the legendary Take Six, the most awarded a cappella group in history, with 10 Grammys. Shows run August 20th through the 23rd. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:30. A gunman is still on the run after a deadly shooting in Seattle's First Hill neighborhood.
KIRO News Radio's Tim Hole is live with the latest.
Yeah, Charlie, Manda police say the victim was found inside an apartment near 8th and Marion after someone called 911 around 8 last night to report a man dead. Officers arrived and found the man suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. They tried to save him until Seattle fire medics got there, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. Victim reportedly about 25 years old. As of the latest update, police have made no arrests and have not released a description of the shooter. Investigators have also not said what led to the shooting or whether victim and gunman knew each other. We have reached out this morning to Seattle police for any new information. Anyone who knows anything can contact police at 206-233-5000.
Tim Hole reporting live is 8:31.
One of the teenagers accused of killing an 18-year-old inside a Tacoma apartment elevator has pleaded guilty. The News Tribune reports 16-year-old Caleb Prince Tramble pleaded guilty yesterday to second-degree murder. Prosecutors say Tramble and 3 other teenagers confronted Messiah Washington in the elevator of his apartment in February of last year. One of the other teens shot Washington multiple times. Video then showed Tramble pull out his own gun and point it at Washington as he was lying on the floor. A Pierce County judge sentenced Tramble to juvenile rehab until he turns 25.
The recall effort against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is moving to court. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
We learned 2 KIRO 7 viewers filed the recall petition.
I saw on KIRO 7, as a matter of fact, I was going to watch a program, but it kept breaking news, and finally at 10:45 there was a news conference. Now you can't tell me that she didn't know what was going on, and to blame it on the police department, I'm sorry. Her communication skills are deplorable.
Now, the case has been assigned to a Superior Court judge. He'll hear that case Monday, August 31st. If the judge decides it goes forward, then signatures would have to be gathered to have the recall put on the ballot in November.
We'll stay out of the water at Houghton Beach and Juanita Beach in Kirkland. Public Health Seattle and King County says bacteria levels exceeded safe thresholds. The swimming areas will remain closed for at least a week.
President Trump said he is pausing the 50% tariffs on Canadian imports. The president didn't offer many specifics, but said he is giving the Canadians 3 days to negotiate another trade deal. Tariffs could face legal challenges and could also conflict with the trade deal the president negotiated in his first term. More from ABC's Alex Prescia.
This is a different provision, a different legal provision that they're using to basically justify this set of tariffs. This is something they're saying it's Section 338 of a 1930s era trade law that's never been used before. Trade analysts have actually described it as, quote, arguably dead law. So several said that it would almost immediately be challenged if these tariffs actually took effect.
It's 8:33. That's time for a check on traffic. Boy, things have certainly gone sideways.
Yeah,
Mr.
definitely.
Sullivan.
If you're coming down from Snohomish County and say, I'm going to take 405, maybe use the express toll lanes, pay the $15, and I'm going down through Renton, maybe working that side, don't even think about it. It's not a good option. You're going to waste an hour minimum trying to go from Linwood to Renton at this point. 2 major crashes have blocked significant amounts of the freeway there. I'll start with the bigger one, which is southbound I-5 at Southeast 8, Southeast 6 there in Northeast 8, Northeast 6th in downtown Bellevue. Both of the express toll lanes are blocked. The left one that goes off at Northeast 6th and the right one that kind of continues. Plus the cars are kind of strewn all over the road. We have a 9-mile backup behind us. It's going to take you an hour and 45 minutes just to go from Everett into Bellevue. Now, the other crash we have is right at the VMAC on southbound 405 getting down into Renton. Only the HOV lane is blocked, or open. So 2 out of the 3 lanes are blocked there. Only the HOV open. So it's about 40 minutes from Bellevue down into Renton. So it's probably about an hour and 40 to 2 hours to get you from Linwood down to Renton at this point. You don't want any part of that. Southbound I-5 with its blemishes, and believe me, it has them, is only an hour and 20 total from Everett and an hour from Linwood, so it is a much safer bet. Looking at northbound I-5, still struggling into downtown Seattle. Left lane remains blocked at Seneca. Hour and 10-minute trip now from Federal Way to Seattle. Valley Freeway, not bad. 45 minutes or less. Renton to Bellevue, about 40. This report brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union. Earn up to $30 a month just for using your Harborstone PNW Cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today at harborstone.com/cash.
We're looking for a high of 78, 79 in Seattle with sunshine this afternoon. Right now, it is 60 downtown.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
14 people have been charged in what authorities describe as a cocaine trafficking ring tied to Penn State fraternities.
ABC's Brad Mielke has more on the investigation, the allegations against current and former students, and the fallout for the university.
Drugs on college campuses are nothing new. The nonprofit American Addiction Centers say the most abused drugs are alcohol and marijuana, followed by prescription pills and party drugs. But when you think about how recreational drugs get on campus, it's not just kids pilfering from their parents or buying from a guy in the parking lot. It can be a large-scale operation. Well, this week, authorities in Pennsylvania have charged more than a dozen people in what they say is a drug ring dedicated to trafficking cocaine on the campus of Penn State. And to hear prosecutors describe it, participating in this operation had really become part of Greek life at some fraternities. ABC's Matt Rivers has been following this. Matt, what did authorities find here?
Well, so according to the Attorney General of the state of Pennsylvania, he calls this a major cocaine operation that kind of went between Philadelphia, New York City, and the Penn State campus.
There was nothing junior or childlike about this type of conduct. This was an upper-level trafficking organization for this region in Pennsylvania.
Led primarily by two individuals who are now both former Penn State students. One at the top of the food chain, again, according to officials, a gentleman named Agostino Abatiello.
Multiple witnesses who testified in front of the grand jury referred to Abatiello as the largest dealer of cocaine for Penn State University students.
And underneath him, a guy named Thomas Robinson. What authorities said is that they were bringing kilos of cocaine at a time, principally from suppliers in New York City and Philadelphia, and then selling it there on campus. They ended up charging 13 former and current students. There were some current students involved in the overall 13. And I should add, Brad, there was a 14th person also charged, a Pittsburgh-based attorney who is the father of Thomas Robinson. Authorities are saying he allegedly interfered in this investigation. So of all the people that were charged, the top people, 5 of them received felony charges, others receiving misdemeanors. But clearly this is a big enough case, a big enough operation that the Attorney General wanted to make this a big deal and make it very public in the way he has.
How did it allegedly work on campus? So, like, these guys according to authorities, these guys would get keys of cocaine from New York and bring it in. But once it hits campus, what happens after that? Because, again, there's lots more people allegedly involved.
Yeah, so to hear authorities describe it, Abatiello was the main hookup in between New York and Philadelphia. Robinson helped distribute things on campus. But what was really interesting and what stood out to me was the way it was then packaged on campus. What authorities allege here is that at both the Delta Upsilon and Sigma Chi houses, which are both fraternities that are off campus at Penn State, only one of them, Delta Upsilon, is actually officially within the university's Greek system there. But apparently they were packaging and cutting these drugs inside those two fraternity houses, even at times allegedly as part of a hazing ritual.
We found a pattern of events that showed cutting and bagging cocaine was, for some pledges, an indoctrination into the Delta Upsilon and Sigma Chi fraternities.
Authorities say they were prepping these drugs for sale inside of fraternity houses there off campus.
Unbelievable. How does the university respond, both about this and perhaps the fraternities themselves?
So the university comes out and says Sigma Chi was not a part of the official Greek system there. It operated independently. Delta Upsilon, though, was. It said it immediately suspended pending a review. Both of the national organizations that are behind Sigma Chi and Delta Upsilon have also denounced those allegedly involved. So uniformly, any oversight body of these organizations has denounced what's happened here. But this is just the latest in a string of notorious cases within Penn State fraternity life, cases in the past couple of years as well where female students were being sexually exploited allegedly inside of some of these fraternity houses. So this is just yet another black mark on the fraternity system at Penn State, and something that the university can and should be reckoning with.
Yeah, and that's what Penn State says they're doing, is continuing to investigate all this from an organizational standpoint as well. All right, Matt Rivers covering it all. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey.
Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we've got a 2-hour drive to go from Linwood to Renton. That's an hour delay. I'm going to tell you why coming up next.
KIRO Newsradio is honored to bring home one of the nation's top awards in our industry, the prestigious National Edward R. Murrow Award for breaking news coverage. One award is the result of our team's hard work every single day, and none of it would be possible without you. You trust us with important information every time you choose us. Whether you listen over the air, on the KIRO Newsradio app, or you watch us on YouTube, thank you.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, more than 20 different family groups of Biggs orcas were seen on tours this week. The T-36s, T-100s, and T-137s threw a party off Marrow Stone Island, then turned up again just off the Edmonds Marina. The T-65 family wandered deep into Hood Canal, And out west, the T-19s and the T-49As prowled the banks near Cattle Pass with breaches and cartwheels. Humpbacks are also in our waters in full force right now, displaying a wide variety of surface behaviors. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers half-day and full-day guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Orcas, humpbacks, gray whales, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-881-8686. That's 800-881-8686. 800-881-8686.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Spike O'Neill here. If your loved one's caregiver has plenty of vacation or just needs a break, why not consider Aegis Living Respite Care? A short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Aegis Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to aegisliving.com/spike to schedule a visit today.
At 8:43, we check traffic on the threes with Sully. It's a tough one.
Yeah, do not get on southbound 405 if you're in Linwood. I don't care where you're going. If you're going to Bellevue, no. If you're going to Renton, no. We have two major crashes on this corridor. I'm going to start with the biggie first. This is the southbound I-405 corridor right before you get into the heart of downtown Bellevue. Right there at the northeast 8th off-ramp, northeast 6th, depending on the side of the road. Both of the express toll lanes, the one that stays and goes through and becomes the HOB and the one that exits at northeast 6th, are both blocked. And now the left general purpose lane is partially blocked now that emergency vehicles have gotten there. We have a 14-mile backup that extends all the way almost to Linwood. It's an hour and a half from Linwood to Bellevue. That is about a 40-minute delay over what you should expect. Now, to the south of that, we have a crash right by the VMAC that until just a few minutes ago had basically the whole right side of the road blocked. Now the HOB lane and left general purpose lane are open, so only one lane is blocked, but we have about a 35 to 40-minute trip from Bellevue to Renton. That puts us at more than 2 hours to go from Linwood to Renton. That is an hour to an hour and 10, hour and 15-minute delay. Go to I-5. I know it's terrible from Linwood, from basically Shoreline on down, but it's an hour faster than 405. That's real time. So,
yuck.
Yeah, just ugly. And as you can imagine, 520 is now caught up in this because you're driving right into the backup there in the westbound direction. The other crash that we have that's still active is on northbound I-5 as you work your way into the heart of Seattle. It's at Seneca. Left lane is blocked. Hour and 10-minute trip Federal Way to Seattle. Renton to Bellevue's hanging in there. 45 minutes. Valley Freeway is cleared out. It's back under 45. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup during the Subaru Lot to Love event going on now through the 31st. Enjoy great financing on select new cars at Subaru of Puyallup. Visit SubaruPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
Well, the weather's nice, so we're going to see sunshine for the rest of the day. 79 for today. Overnight low right around 60. Tomorrow and Friday, pretty much the same pattern with clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon, either side of 80. Saturday and Sunday, we do see a chance of showers roll in with highs in the low 70s. Right now in Seattle, sunshine and 58.
Coming up, G. Scott joins the show. New polling shows Seattle voters like crime enforcement cameras. So why the pushback? G talks about it coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
When you order a ride from a rideshare company, do you know what you're getting? Big rideshare companies have been caught failing to protect passengers from dangerous drivers and not supporting drivers and passengers after an accident, all to protect their profits. That's why if you've been injured in a rideshare vehicle, you need Davis Law Group to protect you. Their in-house team of investigators and legal staff has a successful track record of taking on rideshare companies, and they've won millions. Visit DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
Guys, if your energy is down, your workouts feel harder, and your drive isn't what it used to be, it may not be aging. It could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, the first step is simple: a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. We'll review your labs, symptoms, and overall health to determine if testosterone therapy could help improve your energy, strength, and performance. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Revive has helped over 120,000 men since 2011 improve energy, sleep, mood, and confidence. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Get answers and take control of your health. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com. Revive Health. Elevate your vibe. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact Revive for full details.
Jane is a small business owner. Tell them what that's like, Jane.
Yeah, well, it's like a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs, and some days things can feel like they're flying off the rails.
Yep, it's a lot. But the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business can help you manage it all. With the largest, fastest fiber-powered network designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect.
Nice. So everything stays on track.
The Total Solutions Advantage. No one does business like Comcast Business.
The more solutions you add, the more you save. Get started today with a qualifying internet package for as low as $60 a month when you add an advanced solution. Plus, new customers, ask how to get up to $1,500 in prepaid cards when you add 2 lines of mobile to a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and automatic payments with bank account required. $60 offer requires 300 meg internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Prepaid card offers end 9/13/2026.
Hello, sweltering Seattle. John Curley here. Is your home staying cool? Are you losing sleep because it's just too hot? At Home Comfort Alliance, the goal is not to sell you a new system. It's to fix the one that you have. Repair first, replace only if it truly makes sense, saving you time and money. If your system's done, a heat pump gives you both cooling and heating for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
Seattle's Morning News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, here he is from the G and Ursula Show and the Reset Podcast. G. Scott, G, before we get on today's topic, I spent much of yesterday's afternoon thinking about the old G segment we could be doing in the future, where we're talking to G from 25 years ago.
Yeah. I love it. Once a week.
Once a week, we have to be doing this. Okay. So,
I mean, you don't want to do it on every topic? I mean,
kind of do.
We could.
Yeah, I mean, because here's one.
Yeah, what would old G, well, first of all, what does new G think about crime enforcement cameras in Seattle?
Okay, well, let me just for the listeners, just so you guys know what's going on. So right now, Seattle voters have sent a pretty clear message to everybody, especially the mayor's office, of course, about cameras and public safety. A new Seattle Metro Chamber poll found 3 out of 4 Seattle voters support using public safety cameras to help investigate crime. 74% support cameras in places like Seattle Center, and 71% support them in areas dealing with open-air drug markets and street disorder. Now, obviously, there are legitimate discussions and conversations about privacy and information and how that's used. I'm going to say this, and I keep saying this. Will never be okay with throwing away any type of cameras, right? Just because that is out there. Hey, let's put guardrails. Anybody that is abusing that information, let's go ahead and prosecute them to the full extent of the law. But it's interesting because right now, I don't know if you guys talked about the numbers about what's happening here locally with crime, right?
Down.
And it's down, and it's actually around the country. It's just everybody is down. Like homicides are down like 25%, violent crimes are down nearly 20%. So I personally, and this isn't studied, but I do have a theory, right? And my theory is simple. Technology, in my opinion, is the greatest crime deterrent that there is. Now, sometimes people will say, oh, consequences and time and stuff like that. Well, that's great, and I believe for some, but technology, cameras, every single time you walk out the door, you already know. There's cell phones, there's Ring cameras, there's Teslas, there's all types of things. 90% of the time, you know when you walk out, you're on camera.
Yep.
I think that has a big thing to do with crime being lower in the country. So I'm not saying that, it's the only thing, but I'm just saying that's one of the things. So today's G is I don't even like arguing about these cameras because the people that are just afraid of crime or they went and studied at some college and university, these are the ones that are telling you, no, turn the cameras off.
I think it's weird, though. I've got a buddy who watches Rachel Maddow every Monday night.
Yeah.
And he just despises these cameras. And I know there are people who are on the right who are like, get rid of these things. They hate them, too.
Yeah.
So it's weird, these political bedfellows where you would not expect people to be on the same page. They are. And people like you, probably like me, are like, well, yeah, this makes a lot of sense.
Well, how about we do this? Why don't we go and talk to people that have been impacted by crime? Why don't we go talk to people that live in neighborhoods where crime is a big deal? You ever notice that the people that like turn the cameras off, and you're like, hey, Lois, tell us about the last funeral that you've been to because of violent crime. Oh, well, but I studied abroad. Shut up. You know what I mean? Like, dude, this is what we're getting. And so I'm sick and tired of really having this discussion. I say it all the time. Omari Salisbury, I took it from him. The people that are afraid of crime, right? We hear their voices all the time. But the people impacted by crime, we don't hear their voices. It's the same folks that want to turn the cameras off are the same folks that wanted to take SROs out of schools in Seattle Public Schools. You want to know who wanted to keep those in there? Kids at the schools.
Yeah.
Now, what would OG say?
Yeah, what would OG say?
Same thing. Yeah. This one right here, there's really no difference, right? Like, OG was something, but common sense, right, was still a big deal with OG 25 years ago. So there's that.
Well, and we didn't have the technology 25 years ago. You can't put the genie back in the bottle now.
Ah, that's true.
All right.
All right.
That was the first Lois appearance for a while.
I haven't said Lois. Hey, man, did I tell you how much I like your shoes today?
Yes, you have told me multiple times. Thank you. I appreciate it. You may be excused.
Dang it.
G and Ursula, 9 to noon here on KIRO News Radio. We need to check in with Sully for a tough traffic update.
Yeah, we've got a 2-hour drive from Linwood to Renton. That is an hour and 10-minute delay because of multiple crashes along this corridor, the biggest of which is the southbound 405 crash right at Northeast 8th in Bellevue. The express toll lanes, both of them are blocked, and now the fire trucks have made it through the backup, and the left general purpose lane is now blocked. 14-mile backup behind it. It's an hour and 20 minutes from Linwood down into Bellevue alone. That's 30 minutes of this. Plus, we have about a 25 or 30-minute delay on southbound 405 from Bellevue down into Renton because of a crash that continues near the VMAC at 44th. Only the right lane is blocked here, but the damage is done. As I said, almost 2 hours from Linwood to Renton. Go to I-5. I know it's terrible at an hour and 20 total from Everett, hour from Linwood, but that's 30 minutes faster than you're going to be getting on 405. Believe me, take it. Westbound 520 is now caught up in this, trying to drive into Renton. Rest of the map, not terrible. Travel times right about where they should be. This report brought to you by 425 Magazine. Home design, living local, dining trends, health, wellness. Subscribe today, 425magazine.com.
Well, the clouds are burning off. 79 our high in the sunshine for today. Right now, it's 58 in Seattle.
Coming up, it's the G and Ursula Show. That's on the way here on KIRO News Radio.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we're always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Certain industries expose workers to hazardous chemicals. If you worked in a paper or pulp mill, or in aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and have a child born with birth defects, your child may be entitled to legal damages as a result of your exposure to such chemicals. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals, metals, and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb malformations, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other birth defects, and you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill, aircraft manufacturing, or painting, contact us now toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill or aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
A lot of businesses are gearing up for a busy summer, and that means choosing a bank with the accounts, tools, and services you need to be successful. The right bank can make a big difference, right, Brad?
It sure can, Dave. And WaFd Bank can help with business checking, loans, credit cards, and so much more. WaFd Bank is also an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you can grow with confidence.
Yeah, but what about when you need help with something? Is there a real person who's available and who knows how to help?
Absolutely. Our friendly and knowledgeable local bankers are ready and waiting to help you with whatever your business might need. From day one, our bankers get to know you and your business to build a strong foundation for future success. This especially helps when it's time to apply for loans and to spot gaps in your business operations, so we can recommend the services that would be most helpful.
Which is exactly why we say WaFd has you covered. To learn more, visit wafedbank.com or stop by your local branch. Discover why they were awarded Best Bank 3 years in a row. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC, loans subject to credit approval.
Not all roofs are created equal, and not all warranties are either. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Right now, take advantage of free lifetime Golden Pledge warranties on all GAF shingle installations and save up to $3,000 or choose 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Summertime savings won't last forever. Protect your home with a roof you can count on for decades. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Give your attic an overhaul with new insulation from Guardian Roofing.